The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Monday, April 12th, 2021, years after zero, and there is a lot to be talked about today. Incredible Masters weekend. Congratulations. I mean, while watching this man play golf on the back nine, there was obviously some holes that caused him a little bit of trouble, but everybody was kind of going through their own battle. Started the day with a 4-stroke lead, ends it with a 1-stroke victory, but at times it felt like it could get lost. Never really, except for when Schauffele kind of went there for a little bit and then he put 7 into the water or whatever. It never really felt like Hideki was going to lose it. And all they kept saying was, you know, the pressure on this man of the entire country of Japan on his shoulders here. And then there was a cool moment where Jim Nantz rattled off all of the famous Japanese golfers, which I enjoyed. It was a nice trip back in time. But then they would continue, an entire country of Japan is going to be happy for him. And I just kept, hey, I'm going to be fucking happy for this guy too.
Yeah.
Hey, what about, like,
come on.
They kept hammering that home, and I appreciate that. And I do love the fact that for the first time, anytime there's a first time ever, you know it is awesome. So the first time ever, a Japanese golfer has won the Masters, which is looked at like the Super Bowl of golf. So congratulations to Hideki Matsuyama.
Yeah!
And I do love the fact that the entire country was on his back. But while I was watching it, I'm like, hey, I'm fucking pumped for this guy.
Come on.
Hey, this is a cool. They kept. I feel like they were like trying to let us know how much the country of Japan loves golf. And by the way, I did enjoy that entire conversation, but I felt a great sense of happiness for this guy that I had never heard of before. Seemed to be one of the calmest, coolest guys I've ever seen on the course. His putting is so much different that it almost takes you back to like Jack or whatever, when he has a little bit of the bend of the leg and the whole thing like that. It was just a very cool Masters weekend, topped off by WrestleMania weekend, which had iconic moments and weather and delays, and Vince McMahon calling God, saying, hold off just a few more hours. We got a goddamn show to do down here. It was a beautiful weekend. It's a fantastic Monday, and there's a lot of shit going on. At Viva Lazito is on vacation. Congrats, Z.
Enjoy it, Z. Have fun, Z.
We love Z. Tone Diggs and Gumpy, the Hammer Don Boys, which is a daily live show at 4 p.m., will join us in the second hour, as will Ian Rappaport. We'll talk about all things happening surrounding the NFL, which we're about to dive into with that Boston Connor. The New England Patriots have somehow made their way back into the forefront of conversation in the entire sports world in your eyes. Masters was yesterday.
Yep.
Okay. WrestleMania happened.
Of course.
Okay, there's some Aaron Rodgers speculation happening. Clowney's over in Cleveland. There's a lot popping off. The NFLPA says, hey, we are boycotting OTAs. They are voluntary. We are choosing to voluntarily not go as a crew here so we can change the way OTAs are going forward. Okay, there's a lot of craziness going on. In your eyes, though, did this not just happen at Ty Schmidt?
Yes, this did just happen.
As we're about to go live, I go, biggest story of the day? And Connor goes, once again, the Patriots are at the forefront of it. In your eyes, the biggest news coming out of the weekend we just had is the Patriots doing what?
Being at the forefront of returning full stadiums to the world.
Stadium?
What? Full stadiums.
No.
Okay? I thought we weren't going to have full stadiums till 2032. And here we are, the Crafts, telling everybody, look, it doesn't make sense to not have full stadiums. We got to get back to living our lives, Pat.
Okay, so there is a Monday morning quarterback article that comes out every single Monday morning. Obviously, it's a collection of things that have happened from the past week and what to potentially look forward to. It is owned by Sports Illustrated, I believe, and Albert Breer runs it now, formerly Peter King, who ran it. Peter King now gets bought out by NBC, so Albert Breer runs Monday Morning Quarterback. Peter King goes to Sports Illustrated. He runs Football Morning in America because they have Football Night in America on Sunday night. Football Morning in America is Monday morning. So Albert Breer Breer and Peter King both released things on Monday. What's that?
I didn't. I was just connecting dots. I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought I gave courtesy to the wrong person on a graphic we might use, and you just connected all the dots for me. So I apologize for interrupting you.
I just want to let you know that happens, by the way.
Sorry.
I feel like that does happen. That's, by the way, although people do watch the show, radio show, that is kind of what you do in radio. You kind of have to paint the picture for people, which is what I was attempting to do. But Peter King and Albert Breer, Peter King used to work alongside Albert, well, I guess ahead of Albert Breer. Albert Breer gets promoted to Monday morning quarterback. Peter King, then OG of NFL writing, who will not be on this show, but OG of writing. He now has Football Morning in America for NBC. Anyways, these two articles, very good every single week.
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, I am very kind of sorry if I don't accurately source, to Foxy's point, information from which article to which article, because it seems like every Monday, whenever these two release there's new shit coming out, and it is very well done by both of them, Albert Breer and Peter King. But the Kraft quote, Jonathan Kraft, who I believe is old buddy's son.
Yep.
He's the bald guy, thinner head, kind of glasses maybe.
There it is.
You see him, he's normally sitting on the left of John Bon Jovi.
There you go.
On the right is old Bob Kraft.
Bob Kraft, Kenny Chesney, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a moving cast.
And then the left, that other one, that's who we're talking about here.
There you go.
Okay, so he's in the picture. He's in the frame. He's a part of the conversations, I believe, from the documentaries that I've watched from the behind the scenes, Do Your Job. He is making decisions. He comes out and says, hey, we got these fucking vaccines going on. Okay, and if we're 2 weeks removed from people's second vaccine, and it seems like a large majority of people are going to do that, why are we not going to have full state? It would be. I forget how exact, but somebody else said this earlier, and it might have been Kraft as well, maybe last week, where they said it would be premature of us to say a percentage of the stadium would be full, especially with how we're looking at this thing. It feels like the Krafts, who I'd assume are a part of conversations that are pretty important in the NFL, are like, listen, vaccine. Okay, now the Johnson & Johnson one allegedly has some questions.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so allegedly has
Right.
some. I'm watching the nightly news, and they're like, Johnson & Johnson vaccine recall. I'm like, is this like a car part? Like, how does this, do you go in there? I'm like, shout out to whoever got the Johnson & Johnson when they're watching news. Like, I thought I did what I was supposed to.
Good luck.
Who knows how any of that goes? But anyways, vaccine, or that one singular elbow drop vaccine.
Yep.
2 weeks afterwards, I assume that's when it has completely made its way through your body. He's like, who says we can't? Who says we can't?
Who says no?
This is Roger Goodell saying we're expecting full stadiums. Now this is the entire NFL coming out basically in their own ways like, listen, this is why we feel this way. I assume more information is going to come. All we need to know, and maybe you're right, maybe this is the biggest news. Watch the Masters. A lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, there was a lot of people there watching. Now, it seemed like a majority of them did have masks on. Some groups, if they were sitting around each other, I assume they got comfortable because they've been hanging out with each other probably for the last 12 months. Now they're sitting in public somewhere. It seemed like there was a lot of people there. A lot of people, big crowds there. Big crowds. Now you got Jonathan Kraft coming out and saying, hey, we got vaccines, 2 weeks, we got full stadiums, you got Texas Rangers. Have we heard anything there?
We have
not
yet.
heard anything
Which
there.
is-
Where WrestleMania just had 25,000 in back-to-back nights. Are we? Are we?
Oh, yeah.
Are we?
Are we out of this?
Are we?
Uh-huh.
Are we on the other side of this whole COVID? Did we officially?
We did it.
We beat COVID.
Wow.
We did it!
Yes!
Come on!
Hey, hashtag Monday motivation. How about that?
Yeah.
Now, listen, we are not doctors.
No.
We don't even try to be. Okay, we talk to some doctors of the mind and of the body. Okay, we are
PhDs.
You know, we have PhDs. All we talk to.
Yeah.
Some have 2, some have 1, some have 4. Shit, fuck. We'll talk to a 10 PhD having son of a bitch if he wants to come on this show.
Exactly.
But what it seems like is a lot of the people who probably have to hear things from a higher level, probably have to do things government-wise, protocol-wise, and all that stuff. It feels like, and also up there in Boston, I mean, that was a hot spot there for a little bit. So whoever's talking to Jonathan Kraft, who does sit at the right hand of John Bon Jovi in the suite where Bob Kraft is there, he is in the know. He's like, this should not be an issue at all. It feels like we did it.
Yeah, and this isn't Johnny Kraft, at a bar having a bag of peanuts telling people, hey, full capacity, let's do it. This is the MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference, okay? The smartest people in the world are up there at MIT, and they're sitting there like, Yeah, you know what, John? You're right. We should have full stadiums. So, to your point, aside, I don't know what Johnson & Johnson, but it does feel like
What was this again? Where was this at?
The MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference? What do you mean?
I have been hearing about the MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And now that you're kind of getting a chance to chat about it, it really gets me going. Because whenever you're thinking about the MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference Academy or whatever, you're talking about people that are really putting numbers together. And isn't that what this is all about? Since the very beginning of Uncle COVID, all you really saw was graphs and numbers. That's all we saw.
Yeah.
And then as one number grew, everybody else got scared, and we continued to get scared. We had no idea what we were a part of. Then the numbers started doing something different. They're like, hey, when I dip, you dip, we dip, we're going down. Now we're talking about analytics. Now we're talking MIT Sloan folks. Now we're talking Jonathan Kraft. We beat fucking COVID.
Yeah!
This is awesome, isn't it?
What a day.
Now, I'm not saying anything, actually, because I didn't really.
Well,
No PH or
we
Ds.
know what happened last time. We said we beat COVID. You know, people told us pretty quickly, hey, no, we didn't. Okay, but I mean, it does sound like we might be over the hill.
And back to your point, a lot of 3Ds, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but no P or H's.
No,
You know what
none
I
of
mean?
those.
So you said no P's, no H's, or D's, and I was like, well, take a quick second there.
I thought the D stood for doctor, so I wasn't sure where in the PH.
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure what those. What's PH mean? Do we know what that means?
No
No way. We read it too. We read it right off.
pH scale. I know that.
Yeah.
Is it a pH scale?
No, well, I know there is a pH scale when it comes to water and stuff
Acidity,
like that.
I think,
Yeah,
of the
there
water.
it is. But I have no idea what it stands for in the PH or D. No.
I'll tell you what, very important though. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Because when that pH comes and then old D slips in the back door, let me tell you what happens. Everybody takes you serious.
Listen to this guy.
Very, very quick. We don't have any of those.
No.
And we are just now learning about what pH means.
After a quick Google search, a PhD is a doctor of philosophy, a non-medical doctor.
Hey, hold on.
Oh, yeah, because a doctor's an MD.
Yeah, because that's a medical doctor.
So maybe
And then a dentist,
Is a
DMD.
or
DDS.
DDS.
Yeah.
which is a doctor of dental sciences.
Boom.
look at us.
Holy shit, dude.
PhD philosophy. Maybe you do have a PhD.
Yeah, I have a lot of philosophies.
Exactly.
I have a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Maybe. No, I could be a PHM. I am a multitude of philosophies.
There it is.
You know what I mean? I'm a PHM.
Wow.
Anyways, what we're saying is, we hope that COVID's over. but
Yeah. Yeah,
we
the
do.
signs seem to be, if this was Blues Clues, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It seems like it'd be leading us right to potential, a
ding,
headstone
ding,
of
ding.
COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be great
Yep.
news. We're going to have to deal with this forever, I think, right?
Yeah.
I believe this is going to be something that's going to be a part of our lives now. But it feels like just by watching other people who we assume know people who actually know stuff. So we do have to let you know that this is potentially secondhand complete bullshit.
Of course.
Because Jonathan Kraft could just be saying this in a fashion that's business centric as opposed to what has had to have been talked about for the last 13 months, which is medical centric. So he might be full of shit, but from what he's saying, and Roger Goodell, who is one of the most cerebral speakers of all time, then WrestleMania, Texas Rangers Stadium, in
Masters.
The Masters is in Georgia. It's creeping up. You know, like Texas and Florida had this thing kind of held down.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, we gonna keep it open.
Hell yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's going up into Georgia now. And then where else will it go next? Who knows? We'll find.
Massachusetts, hopefully.
And that's a long
That's
road.
yeah.
trip.
That's a ways up there.
Hey, that's a way up there.
But I think one of the things he said too, I don't know if it was the exact thing, but he's like, it would be intellectually dishonest to tell people
There it was.
to
Yeah.
tell people that
That's
we
what I was
can't
looking
open when we're telling them, hey, you get the vaccine, like your life's going to be able to go back to normal a little bit. And it's basically just like we're treating these people like morons if we say that kind of stuff and then we can't have full capacities.
Intellectually dishonest. I was looking for it. There was no way that was coming. You know what I mean? There was no way that was coming. Thank you for reminding me that was what was said there. At Ty Schmidt, some news that maybe circulates around you. And by the way, this isn't like the country of Japan's going to be happy for Hideki type thing when I'm saying this, because we understand that you also have a little bit of an expertise in surviving COVID because we've all lived through this thing.
True.
But more directly to you, there's been some more write-ups. And where there's smoke, there's fire. And the Seattle Seahawks fans, some of them, a portion of them, turned on us for covering the smoke before there's an actual fire. But that's what we have to do. We observe and report. That's literally what we do on this show, and we enjoy doing it. We have no journalism degrees. We are sports stooges.
That's right.
Okay, sports stooge that has a little bit more of, maybe a sense of what's going on because we can keep up with trends. For instance, if Mike Florio and Pro Football Talk are talking about something, there has to be a reason. Okay, unless Florio's just making it up, but Florio's been in the game for a long time. I don't know if that's how anything works, especially no matter what your thoughts are on anything that Florio or Pro Football Talk do. There's a reason everything's happening in our eyes from what we've watched.
Yeah.
Any narrative that's pushed publicly through insiders, there's a reason. Maybe it's true, maybe it's partial true, maybe they're leaving out a lot of truth, but it feels like somebody's always cooking something for a reason. Mike Florio started talking a little bit heavily this weekend on Pro Football Talk, even so much so as much as putting up a poll this morning about Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers relationship. How do you view this going, Ty, especially after that there's being some real coverage being put on it by a lot of different people? We talk about it as like a, there's 1 year guaranteed money. You would assume that he would get this deal done, especially with what everybody else is doing. But teams are fickle in what they do, that whole thing. In your eyes, this Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers story, warrant the amount of conversation it has garnered at this particular point, Ty? Or do you think this is all a bunch of to-do that really is going to end up being nothing?
I mean, I think it obviously is overblown a little bit because Aaron's come on. We've talked about it because he doesn't do that many interviews and stuff like that. A narrative kind of gets out there, and because he just won an MVP, he's one of the best players in the NFL, kind of, creates a firestorm. But also, I mean, extend the fucking guy. End this. It's like at this point, if something hasn't gotten done, like if you read Florio's article, he basically posits that like the Packers are more comfortable on having Rodgers on a year-to-year like contract in case his play slips. But it basically what he says in the end is it comes down to, are the Packers going to commit to Rodgers long-term, or are they going to be okay with sending Jordan Love out there in 2022?
In Florio, who has been good to us, but I know he's very much people either love him or hate him type guy, but he's always been good to us, and I assume he knows that people either love him or hate him too, so it's not saying anything. But he was reacting to a Rob Domofsky article or interview or something like that. An old Bob Domofsky in the conversation cited an anonymous agent, an anonymous executive, an anonymous somebody else, and the agent felt like it was potentially another Packers player's agent was talking to Bob Domofsky about how the Packers continue to say, we got something potentially big during their negotiation. So it's like, okay, so maybe they are renegotiating something with Aaron Rodgers. But the way they were painting it, and it made it sound like, while reading the article without listening to Bob Domofsky's entire thing, made it sound like they were acting as if they can't spend money because money's tied up in Aaron Rodgers' contract.
Right.
And then we all kind of like here at Pro Football Talk tweets, in a comprehensive look at the current relationship between Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, Rob Domofsky quotes an unnamed agent who says the Packers aren't making free agent moves due to Rodgers' contract. So that's like, okay, now which way and why? Is it because they're renegotiating one? And it's tough to make moves because when you don't know what exactly is going to happen over the next 3-4 years with the prime money user of a salary cap on every team, basically, which is the quarterback? Or are they saying because the contract's so big, they can't pay anybody else? That is kind of where I'm kind of torn on this entire thing, because if they're saying they can't spend money on anybody else because it's Aaron Rodgers' contract, they could do that Houdini shit that's going on
easy
all around the NFL, turn his salary into signing bonus, free up some money, now we can make moves. And if it's the other way where they're, they don't want to extend them or they're not renegotiating, that's fascinating too, because Florio mentions in there that Mark Murphy might have found the perfect recipe of pissed offness, basically, of Aaron Rodgers, where he's happy, but he still has a little bit of an edge. And if that is what Mark Murphy is going to say in the future for why they drafted Jordan Love, because I knew it would motivate Aaron to play his best, I fucking love that spin zone.
Yes.
I love that spin zone if that's what's going on. Right?
I would love that too. But yeah, like you said, the way I read it in that article was that they were saying, hey, people were coming to them, free agents were coming, maybe potentially interested, and they were saying, hey, we can't get anything done because of Rodgers' contract. But like once that's done, we can't. And then they just haven't done it. They've continued to push it off. So they haven't signed anyone. They haven't done anything with him yet. And then now it's like you run the risk of, hey, you piss him off too much, and when he gets to like the
he's
end,
gonna get loud.
Exactly, it's gonna get very loud. And then like after seeing what happened with Brady, like you can't let this guy leave the building. You just can't do it.
And Peyton, by the way.
Yeah.
Peyton won a Super Bowl. Tom won a Super Bowl. I mean, it just feels like these are things that happen. And then the thought that they can't spend money because of Aaron's contract, and that's why they can't spend on free agents. Warren Sharp, who's like super analytic guy, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Great mustache.
Oh, yeah.
That's Sharp Analytics. He'll dive into all this stuff. I think he when he hears something like that, he's like, oh, great, another math little study I can get into. Put maybe some headphones on, and he just starts going in. The money that the Packers have spent before the massive Rodgers contract, lowest in the entire NFL. It's lower than the Detroit Lions.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Warren Sharp at Sharp Football says no team spends less in free agency than the Packers. Nothing to do with Rodgers' contract, which is signed in 2018. Warren Sharp did this research after this interview came out. Now, I'm not sure, again, if the agent that told Bob Domofsky was saying they couldn't do anything because Rodgers' contract was so high, or was he potentially saying, where's Mark Murphy telling that agent that, hey, we're renegotiating right now, and they couldn't let that, So I'm not 100% sure, but let's go with, and this is what Warren Sharp's stats are about, is that they're telling people we can't pay because we have to pay Aaron Rodgers, which is interesting because before Aaron Rodgers' big contract, they paid $181 million in free agency from 2011 to 2017 over 39 players. That's number 32 in the NFL. League average is $437 million, okay? So that's 4X right there. And then the number one team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, $835 million. So the disparity there between the number one overall spending team in free agency versus the number 32 team in spending in free agency is $835 million to the Packers' $181 million. But league average is where I'd assume most people will be, still way below that. Sounds like this is just classic excuse on why they don't want to pay anybody.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like if you're a Packers fan, this is business. I mean, that's why, everyone gets so pissed when
Is it because there's no owner? I think it has to
potentially,
be.
yeah.
I think it has to be. Kraft?
Exactly.
Kraft said, we lost 1 year, let's not do that again. Mara came out and said, I'm sick of having to explain why we're losing at the Giants. Jerry Jones is infatuated with Kyle Pitts right now.
Yeah.
Let's assume he's potentially been infatuated with other players before and paid them. I think it has to be because there's no owner. And I'll tell you what, I never really would have looked into the Green Bay Packers situation ever in my life if it wasn't for you and getting to know Aaron and AJ and everything like that. I think the no owner thing, although very cool, is quite a detriment to the success of your team.
Killing you.
I really do believe that. And it's cool. It's a great story. And Green Bay is awesome. Like, I love Green Bay, Wisconsin. Got a chance to go up there, had those butter burgers and cheese curds, rode down something that was outside something, sat in a bar I thought was Mason Crosby's bar. That was a lie. Yeah. I gave them a lot of money because I thought it was Mason Crosby's bar. They were doing just fine without me, but nonetheless, I love that. It seems like it is quite a detriment for those types of reasons, for other decisions, for maybe something that would help Green Bay in a media deal that maybe they could speak up for, which could help. I mean, it is a massive fan base, massive organization, and I don't know how they're able to, because they got Aaron Rodgers a fucking quarterback.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And even like going back to when we had Andrew Brandt on the show when he used to work there, like they'd have like the owners meetings or whatever, and something would be said, and like they just scoff at Green Bay. It's like, all right, well, you guys aren't even, it's like, well, your opinion does not matter. It's these guys who hold all this money.
Hey, will you go ask Ty Schmidt of Iowa what his thoughts are, and then get back to us next week?
Thanks, appreciate it.
He's more of an owner than you are, by the way. Like, it would be, I think there has to be a voice. I don't know. I just think there has to be, if it's a family, a group, whatever it is, there just has to be some sort. But then as soon as that happens and bad decisions get made, now you have somebody to blame too.
Right.
So it's kind of, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a 6 one way, half dozen the other.
Yeah.
Because you either are making moves because that family wants to, or if it doesn't, it's like, I hate that family. Much like the Nuttings in Pittsburgh and the Pirates. I hate that family because they don't do anything. So with Tepper getting involved, $14.5 billion down there in Carolina. He's making some moves. Bezos wants to get involved.
Yes.
And now you got a team still that doesn't have an owner. You're going to be miles behind whenever big bank Tepper walks in there and wants to make some rules or something like that.
The thing that I really don't get either is a number that keeps getting thrown around is his cap hit is they can save $22.6 million in
Trading.
2022. Yeah, is it worth it? Is getting rid of Aaron Rodgers worth $22.6 million in cap space?
Salary cap's going up to $250 million, they said, within the next couple of years. Let's get to the poll here, and then we'll get to a break. I can't wait for the phone calls on the other side.
Hell yeah.
About everybody's weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do people talk about? But I can't wait to hear what the poll says about our poll today.
Oh, what do we got?
Will Aaron Rodgers be the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers beyond the upcoming NFL season? Yep, says 69%. Nope, 31%. Already 14,000 votes. 69% of the people that have voted on this poll on YouTube say he's going to stick around. That is fascinating because I don't think people understand the situation enough.
Yeah.
1 year guaranteed money left on this contract. That is basically no contract after this year, especially at the quarterback position and somebody that'll be 37 years old. That deal either has to get extended. Neither side wants to go into this year without a new deal.
Yeah.
If they do go into this with no new deal, is Aaron going to be on the road? Is he going to be a Green Bay Packer?
No way.
Is he going to retire?
Ooh.
He said on Shailene Woodley's Instagram, no.
A lot of football left.
1-888-MAD-DOG-6. We'll answer some phone calls on the other side. It's Monday, April 12th, 2021 years after zero. This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Hey, by the way, I'm up to something.
Oh!
We're cooking some shit.
Yeah!
All right, so it's come to my attention that when I went on Pat McAfee's show on Friday, I offended some of you Jet fans because your organization has completely changed, and this time you're convinced that they're going to get it right. And so I unfairly accused you guys of not really knowing what you're doing when it comes to the draft. And I've got to be honest with you. Robert Saleh is one of my favorite people in the National Football League. I think the guy's an incredible coach. And I think he's a great leader of men. So I'm excited for Robert Saleh's tenure at the Jets. So I thought what I would do today to make it up to you Jet fans is, give you a little show and tell. Now this is actually the helmet I wore in the AFC Championship game and in the Super Bowl 33. So I thought I would share with you guys some Super Bowl rings and kind of the story of the championship games behind getting to these Super Bowls. So see if you can pick out the one where the Broncos beat the Jets, okay? No, it's not that one. That's Super Bowl 26, the Skins over the Buffalo Bills. In that NFC Championship, we beat the Detroit Lions. I mean, put a beat down on them. It was like 45-10 or something of that nature. I mean, I'm telling you, the sisters were kinder in Shawshank Redemption to Andy Dufresne than we were to the Lions that day. So that's not it. Now, this one is Super Bowl 32. That's really my favorite ring because the Broncos on that day were 11-point underdogs or 11.5-point underdogs to the Green Bay Packers. So in the AFC Championship, we beat Pittsburgh. We had to convert a 3rd down and 7 at the very end of the game to seal the victory, which we did. So it wasn't that one. You're right, Jets fans. That's the one right there in the middle. That's Super Bowl 33, and that's when the Jets were up on us 10-0 in the third quarter, and then we came back and opened a can of whoop ass to the tune of 23-0 in the third and fourth quarter to beat your asses. So there you go. That's the ring that we got after we beat you in the AFC Championship. All right, enjoy.
That opening kickoff in that Super Bowl you're referring to with the Colts, Hester takes to the crib. You having a little bit of a heart attack there?
Very bad decision, Pat, on my part. All week, up in Indy were practicing, and we know he's their number one threat. They don't have a lot of offensive weaponry. They win with defense and special team. So for the whole week, we're in Indy. We're not going to let him touch the ball. We practice squibbing to the corners, bouncing the ball, high kick, pop-up kickoff, punt it out of bounds, everything to not let him touch the ball. We have a chapel service, and the chaplain talks about David and Goliath, and he says, hey, the reason David beat Goliath, he wasn't afraid. Everybody else was afraid. David ran right at him, threw it right between the eyes, and it was over. And I started thinking, we're acting like we're afraid of Devin Hester. So I told the team on Saturday night, I hope we lose the toss. We're going to kick off. We're going to kick it right down the middle. When we pound him, they'll know we mean business. It's going to be over. We kicked it to him. 12 seconds later, he's in the other end. He's looking at me saying, what idiot decided to kick the ball to Devin Hester? But fortunately, the last 59 minutes, the team made up for it.
Wait until they see the tone we set on the opening kickoff.
Yeah, that was it.
I bet you Vinatieri was sitting there.
I don't know if that's such a good idea.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. Hey, you.
Yeah?
Yeah, you.
Me?
Yep. Got Bush.
Yep.
You definitely do if you haven't tried the best products from our sponsor today, Manscaped. Woo! After using these life-changing products, you're going to want to join a ballsack beauty concert.
That's right.
I'm looking out for you, too, because I also have an exclusive 20% off discount when you go to manscaped.com/Pat. Manscaped is dedicated to helping you level up your full-body grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0 kit. The Perfect Package 3.0 kit comes with the Essential Lawnmower 3.0, which is a waterproof, cordless body trimmer that might have a fucking Hemi.
Yeah. Let's go.
Nick-free technology. You can go willy-nilly on your willy-nilly and you will feel nothing but safe with the Lawnmower 3.0 and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. When you trim the hedges, the tree stands taller.
Oh.
Yeah, just optics, but also in
Science.
In general,
too.
PhDs.
In PHMs.
PHMs.
A multitude of philosophies.
That's right.
Get 20% off and free shipping. Go to manscaped.com/Pat. And with the Perfect Package or Performance Package purchase, you get 2 free gifts. The Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value add, and the patented high-performance reduced chafing Manscaped Boxers. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for your bush trimming experience. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/Pat. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/Pat. It's 2021 and you still got Bush. Change that with Manscaped.
Come on. Let's go. 2021 here.
It's a long one, huh?
Yeah. A little bit.
A lot of words in there. Big shout out to Manscaped. They have created an incredible device. You know, we started talking a little bit more about Matsuyama's win yesterday. Mm-hmm. I mean, really fucking cool Masters ending.
So awesome.
How about when the caddy goes, puts it back, takes the flag off the thing, puts it down, takes it out, bows to the course, and then walks away. It was like, golly.
Chills. Just
so awesome. So much respect. So much appreciation. It's really, really cool shit.
Yeah.
I've been to Japan before. I want to let you know, it's maybe the most opposite place I've ever been to in my life.
Really?
Just a complete different world than what we live in right now. Everything seems to be different, but so quiet, so nice, so humble. It felt like you get into a nightclub, of course. Maybe the most insane place I've ever been in my life is a Japanese nightclub. But whenever you go in the trains and everything like that, just completely different. The fact that that's the first Japanese winner of the Masters, I just thought it was a pretty cool little
Yeah, I'm happy for Japan, but hey, I'm happy for us.
How about the world?
We all got to watch Hideki win. Come on.
They did tell us like 10 times, like, Japan's going to be so happy. Yo, I'm pretty fucking happy for the guy, too. Can we not talk? This Zalatoris guy became my guy or whatever, but there was no chance he was going to catch all hit.
And then seeing him like waiting for a commercial flight to fly back to Japan,
awesome.
so cool.
Hey, it's a long one.
Yeah,
that is a long flight.
Chicago, then Japan.
I don't know when they pay him for his winnings, but he needs to be in the front in the bed.
Yeah.
He needs the bed for that flight because you're flying. Sorry, flat earthers, I've done the flight. You actually fly up over the earth there. It's a long one. We almost had to make an emergency landing on the way home in Manitoba.
No way.
Yeah, we almost
What
had
happened?
to make an emergency landing. The toilets. So as soon as we get on the plane, 2 of the toilets were broken.
Ooh.
Okay, so there's a certain amount of toilets that have to be operable for the plane to continue. Some point in between naps 4 and 5 for me, because it's a long ass flight, I saw a bit of a commotion. There was something happening. I go up, act as if I'm grabbing something, overhear conversation. Words were said, if one more toilet goes down, we're going to have to emergency land this thing and nobody's going to be happy. So this was a meeting of like the flight attendants or whatever, and I assumed that they had to have a full conversation with the pilots and they had to make this whole thing. So I go back to my pod or whatever I was sitting in. I looked at the map and I was like, we're nowhere near home. We were Manitoba. Like there's going to be at least 5, 6 shits. At least per toilet coming. There's no way we make it all the way home with just the amount of toilets that you need to continue a flight.
Shout out to those toilets.
Shout out to those 2 toilets that held strong there.
A lot of dumps.
There was lines, dude, because
course.
everybody's asleep.
Yeah.
Everybody's asleep. Then you wake up. You wake up because you have to pee probably, or you potentially have to poop if there's food that was served or whatever. And people would wake up and they'd stumble, and then there'd just be like a 10-person line, and it's like, oh no. And it's like, yeah, we're still. Hey, Santa's right there. We still got a long time to make it back. Chuck woke up one time. I was like, Chuck, do not take anything to drink. Do not drink anything. You cannot pee on this thing. Why? What's going on? What's going on? Listen, we might have to emergency land this thing in fucking Manitoba. Not enough toilets on the plane.
What were they feeding everybody?
I don't know. I assume coming back
Beans?
from Japan, though, there's a chance that some of the food you ate there could be getting you on the way home.
Burn through you.
I forget what we had. They gave us some box of something that had some sort of something in it, and you opened it up, and it was just like,
what is that?
there's no way. But you don't want to be disrespectful.
Exactly.
I ate at a diner that had penguins running around.
What?
Really?
Penguins were running around, and then they scooted their asses right back into the. They had like a water and like a whole tank almost on the wall. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's pretty
incredible.
cool.
They freed the penguins. So the penguins come walking out. They like have a pool where they swim at. I'd assume the penguins do not enjoy their lives.
No, no way.
While we were there, Anthony Costanzo was actually, that was his first question. It was like, these penguins definitely aren't enjoying this life because they have like a with water and with cold ass air, so I don't know what it is. An aquarium-like thing, like you're at a zoo, and they would swim. You see them swim. They would dive down. It was full wall size, and then like a bell would go off or a ring would go off, and they would walk over to where the door was, and then they would walk right. They'd lift the door. They'd walk out, go around. You'd feed them fish.
Oh, so these things are like machines then.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was Pavlov's dog. Bell rings, come here. They walk out, and then they walk up to dumb American, and then they just snatch fish right out of my hand.
Man, I bet they're pissed about that too.
What's that?
Hear the bell. Oh, we gotta fucking do this shit again.
No,
All right.
That's the only way they're eating.
I think that's the
sounds
only
like.
thing they enjoy.
wow.
Yeah, I think it's the only thing they really enjoy. Other than that, they're just sitting there. And maybe it's because they just got housed a bunch of fish. They just kind of lay around a little dumpy. I saw one kind of scoot down in there. I was like, let's go, Pens. Let's go, Pens. I'm a big Penguins fan.
Yeah.
There was one that was just chilling around there. But yeah, what I'm saying is Japan's a very, very different place. Never been to a place ever. I feel like I've been to, how many continents is it? 7?
Uh-huh.
I've been to 6 of them, I think, at this point. That is 5. I haven't been to Australia. Need to make it to Australia. Yeah, I've heard Australia is awesome. Need to make it. So 5. That is the place I've been to where it was just like, oh man, they're not even going to try to learn my language. And there's no reason for me to even try to learn their language.
way. Nope.
But we're all going to kind of have a good time here. Nobody understands anybody like with us. It was very, very different.
Penguins and bars. I mean, that's incredible.
Bro just came scooting out. It was pretty cool. I remember him like strutting the first one. I guess he was the king penguin.
When you walked in, did you know that they were there already? Is that why you went?
Yeah, they had a penguin on top of it, and I'm a big Pens fan.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I actually said, "Can we stop it here?"
There's a Penguins bar.
And then I poked my head in, and I saw the whole thing, and I was like, "They have penguins in here." And then we went in there, and nobody really. we're in an area they told us do not go to.
Yeah.
Okay, because I guess the military in this area did not get along well. So I'm not 100% sure if Americans were necessarily welcomed there. Everybody was very nice to us. I want to let everybody was very nice to us, but nobody spoke our language. I mean, nobody. Like we sat down and the one guy like pointed at the thing, and I was like, "Oh, I love penguins. You know, I love them." And he was like, and he did like a full walkout. I'm like, "What do you mean?" He was like. He gave me like 5 minutes or whatever. So we just sat there, and then all of a sudden signs go off.
Ding, ding, ding.
And then the penguins are walking down. He comes over. He's like,
What'd I tell you?
My guy, let's get some phone calls. I would say if you want to, like, we are probably going to go to Japan one time and just kind of go do Japan.
Yeah.
Because it makes you, you can't talk to anybody else. Nobody understands your language.
Team
so
trip.
it makes your team, like, you have to very much. Like, hey, whenever we're going somewhere, like, okay, we're all we got.
Yeah, just us.
This is just like, and it's almost like, I think it's a good team building, and also you get cultured and learn things. It was a cool place, very cool.
You
place.
hop on that bullet train?
Oh yeah, yeah, but you cannot be late. I mean, those things are shut.
Oh yeah,
As soon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, as soon as that, it's like a loud. It's like almost like a slot machine's going off.
Okay.
And you walk in there, and then as soon everybody's sitting down. Completely quiet. We're just standing there, and then as soon as that music stops, it's just like, and then gone. It was like, whew, what happens if you don't? You don't.
You get cut in half.
Somebody gave me like
No.
Okay. All right, we won't do it. All right, we will make sure we're in there. But clean. I didn't see one piece of litter anywhere. Basically,
Man.
It was very, very.
Not like Cleveland.
Whoa.
Hey, look, I've been there once, and I saw garbage cans like just tipped over, license
It was
plates.
windy. It's
Well
a lake.
said.
Hey, look,
It's a lake
look.
effect.
Yeah, well, then why were there rats the size of raccoons running around the
Bro,
city then?
the casino was so giving to us.
Don't pet them. They're
Great.
not pets.
Okay, they might be though. After the casino gives you enough money out there, you could buy that. That casino is maybe the most friendly casino I've ever been to. Been in there 3 times at this point. I've won all 3 times. There's not a lot of places you can say that. Pittsburgh, worst casino of all time.
Kick you in the teeth every time.
You are going there and you are donating to Pittsburgh.
Pay respects.
You have to. You start your trip. You go right to the Rivers Casino downtown. You what? $100, $200, whatever you want to do. You're donating it to the city.
Have a good weekend.
They're taking it in a different fashion, slowly, methodically, and then you're going out. You're going to go somewhere completely different in the city from where that place is. But your karma should be good for the rest of the weekend.
That's the way it works.
They got casinos in Japan?
Oh, I would have found them.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No.
We went to this incredible sushi place, though.
Really?
Oh my God, it was
Best in the world.
Well, it's where it began, right?
Yeah.
The sushi began over there. It was this tiny. It was like a movie. Like you walk up these steps, and it's like a little corner area, and there's like home type window. What's that called? Blinds up. And there's only like 6 tables, and it's like It was awesome. I also learned that there's quite an economic gain for the investment people to live in Tokyo because their market opens 6 hours ahead of everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got introduced maybe a little bit of the underbelly of the investment world.
If there's no casinos out there, I mean, it might be a good investment to build one in the middle of Tokyo.
I'm not sure they'd just let us do
Yeah,
that.
good luck getting through the Yakuza.
Connor, maybe you could.
You know what?
Yeah, maybe you could. Maybe
That's my goal. That's my new goal. Open a casino in downtown Tokyo.
The only Americans you really saw over there were military.
Yeah.
Or people that were doing stock or their market or whatever over there.
Wall Street dudes.
Yeah, Wall Street. Which I don't know what their name is. I would wonder what their market. It probably has an actual full name that we should know.
They don't have PHMs. We know that.
Well, I think they do actually. That's why they're over there.
Oh, okay.
I think that particular multitude of philosophy they had is if we go to where the market is 6 hours ahead of time, we could get a potential read on things.
Never lose.
And we'll never lose. I wonder if they saw GameStop coming.
Oh, they might have.
Probably. They saw
AMC at least.
Let's go to TJ. Let's go to TJ in Washington. What's going on, TJ? No, this guy stinks.
Teach.
There was a man named TJ. When he got on, he sucked so bad.
So bad.
He never said a word to Pat or the boys. The only thing they heard What was the hang-up noise?
Man.
He's gone.
Thanks, TJ.
What
TJ,
the hell are we doing, TJ?
TJ, come on, man. This is Monday. This is a big time Monday.
Come on.
It's a feel good Monday.
Yes.
This is a hey, we got some things to talk about Monday.
Hell yes.
And maybe we talked about a trip to Japan for 17 minutes in the middle of hour 1 and didn't cover all the stories. But hey, we still got 2 hours and 15 minutes here.
Teasing the next 2 hours.
And TJ was about to lead us into a conversation about something I think that people would want to hear. But here's TJ, probably at work, didn't know he was going to come on.
You from D.C. or Washington State?
State, I think, with what his question was about.
Oh, okay.
So now you can kind of think about what TJ was potentially going to ask about. I wanted to talk about it, but TJ just fucking dropped the ball.
Had
Sorry,
to be,
TJ.
Russ Bus.
Hey, no.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's go to Jack in Rochester. What's going on, Jack? Yeah, it was.
What's up, Pat and the boys?
Jack, this is what we
on,
needed.
Jack.
What do you want to talk about, brother?
The fucking New York Jets, pal.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. They stink.
They do fucking stink. And they stunk since I was born.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think's going to happen? You think everything's going to get better now or what?
Oh, probably not. We're probably still going to stink. But
How come?
because they've always stunk.
Yeah, but what about the day where, what's his face? The Broadway Joe.
Yes.
Broadway Joe's out there wearing the entire boa. He's we're going to win that game.
Hell
he
yeah.
said. You know what I mean? What about Broadway
The
Joe?
only
The
thing that
Jets.
matters is Sam Darnold's out of time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, Jack. All right. We're going there with Jack. I like that.
And if you're a team like the Jets, look at the Browns. Look at the Browns now.
Okay, so let's start talking about the New York Jets and the draft situation. Everybody says Trevor Lawrence #1, Jacksonville, call it. Jordan Palmer, who has worked with Trevor Lawrence, came out and said, like, hey, Pat, you'd love this guy. He's all ball. He has been in a fishbowl his entire life. People have expected him to be the #1 pick in the NFL draft since he was high school. He's had all eyes on him every single day of his life in this modern technology world. And he has not only not fucked up, he's actually thrived, became a leader, and remains cool. You're going to love him. Okay, so Trevor Lawrence locked in at 1 to Jacksonville with Urban Meyer and the Jaguars is something we all understand. Then at #2, New York Jets taking Zachary Wilson. We all just have kind of bought in and understood that.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
What if they don't take Zachary Wilson? What if Justin Fields is going to be the #2 overall pick, especially now that we're hearing that the Niners, via Adam Schefter, who just a week ago proclaimed, and Adam Schefter, once again, can't say this enough, works at ESPN. He's been around the game a long time. That dude knew things that were happening with my team before I did whenever I was on the team. He has insiders, it feels like, at very high levels every single place. That's why whenever he drops a little gem that's an atom bomb, things actually happen. Last week he said Mac Jones, if he doesn't go to the Niners, I'd be very surprised. This week he's like, wait a second, they might be open to who's at #3. Maybe Justin Fields could potentially become the #3 overall pick instead of Mac Jones. Adam Schefter says he believes the 49ers preferred Mac Jones now, but are keeping an open mind with the #3 pick. He said that to what happened?
I don't know.
I don't know when.
What I cannot see the right half of the screen.
Even full screen.
No, it makes it worse.
Yeah.
It makes it worse.
Covers up more of it.
What's his name? MAIO. That's as far as
CCO NBCS.
Okay, we appreciate that conversation that Schefter had over there this morning. So now, does that mean because they're going to Justin Fields' second pro day, are they open for, if Justin Fields throws good today, he's potentially a #3? Or have they potentially never really been bought in on anybody and this is all a game of poker and they're lying to everybody? And maybe the New York Jets, who have allegedly been locked in on Zach Wilson, maybe they're doing that to make other people think like, the Jets don't even want Justin Fields as the #2 guy to kind of draw that. We know nothing at this point. Yeah. No matter what information comes out, I believe it's real information. I believe Schefter was told by somebody who does know what's going on over there, some information, but why is that information getting out? What narrative is trying to be pushed, and how does this thing play out? The draft, April 29th, where we will have a draft spectacular with surprise guests. It is going to happen. It'll be a great time, the first round. There's a chance all hell could break loose.
Oh, yeah.
Other than Trevor Lawrence being locked in, I think everything else is potentially still maybe a question mark. And at this point, The clock is ticking. And franchises' entire billion-dollar operations depend upon these top 5, top 6 picks, especially in the next couple years. You're looking for a franchise changer. You're looking for an organizational face to be drafted in those top 5 picks, top 6 picks. Now the Falcons at 4 maybe take a quarterback. Are they saying that so somebody will come trade with them to get a quarterback? Or are they saying that because they mean it? I feel like this year we don't know a fucking thing at this point.
Do you think there's any way that the 49ers have maybe like looked at Jimmy G and fallen, I don't know, not back in love with him, but then they're thinking like, hey, why don't we go get Pitts at number 3? You got Pitts and Kittle. I mean,
a lot of people would say that they could have traded lower in the draft. They went to 3 because they knew they had a guy. That's what a lot of people would say. They gave up a lot. You move all the way up to 3, you must already know your answer. But now it sounds like maybe they don't. They just get up in the game, maybe.
And if people do think that Pitts is the runaway best player in this class outside of Trevor Lawrence, I mean, hey, maybe Jimmy G doesn't look so bad next year if he's got Kittle and Pitts and Deebo Samuel. And
could you imagine the Patriots with Hunter Henry and John and maybe they get Pitts allegedly.
I could imagine that, Pat.
But I'm just saying, these teams that are about to get stacked at the tight end position, you got to remember Gronk was a free agent there for a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of teams could have made plays for Gronk. They got Cameron Brate down there. Is O.J. Howard still
Yeah,
on
he's
it?
still there, coming off an injury.
Seems like a good idea for teams is to have a great tight end, maybe 2 of them.
Especially, I mean, it is much different because Lamar Jackson, that quarterback, but it works so well with the Ravens, and then they traded Hayden Hurst.
Get him out.
Yeah, and then it kind of changed.
And Yonda retires, which it becomes a different operation. Sammy Watkins came out and said whenever he signed with the Ravens, he had heard a lot of people talking about Lamar maybe not being a great thrower, and he said it's a wide receiver's job to get open, though. He said like it's a wide receiver's job to get open. I don't know what that means. I think he was just saying it in general, but Lamar, I mean, when they had those 2 tight ends going, and then
unbelievable.
I mean, they had a real thing going there. Whew. Let's get to one last phone call here before the break. What if they go up to 3 and get Pitts? A lot of people who are draft experts are going to be like, could have got him at 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Did not have to go all the way up to get to 3. We all know that. But then if Kyle Pitts is an all-pro next year, nobody gives a single fuck about it.
Exactly. And to your point, if they really were sold on a quarterback, I don't think they'd be saying this late, like, well, we'll see what happens.
Let's go to Mike in New York. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, how's it going, Pat and the boys?
Not too shabby, Mike. What do you want to talk about?
So I got something interesting for you.
Here,
2-parter.
Okay, here we go.
I'm watching Kendrick Bourne, new Patriot receivers vlog, working out with a bunch of the new passes, Hunter Henry, etc. And I keep a little familiar face in the background of that private workout, Mr. Trevor Lawrence.
What's he doing?
So are we thinking that possibly little Bill Belichick over there has got a plan going with Trevor Lawrence? And is it possible for Trevor to not take his first-round draft if the Jaguars do choose to make that happen?
Okay, Mike, great question. I don't.
Well.
I think Trevor and Urban Meyer have a pretty good relationship thus far. I believe Urban Meyer was a part of the scheduling of his surgery that he had to have on his shoulder the day after his pro day or 2 days after his pro day. So I don't know if that's the case. And to get Bill Belichick to make a move to get Trevor Lawrence, you have to get the Jacksonville Jaguars on board with that. I don't think that's going to happen. Could Trevor Lawrence say, I ain't going?
Yeah.
He could.
Yeah.
He definitely could. There was some smoke from people not named Joe Burrow that there was a chance Joe Burrow was going to do it with Cincinnati last year. That ultimately was a lie. Whenever that was being talked about by us, everybody told us that would never, ever, ever happen. We kind of bought onto that theory that would be a very tough thing to do here in 2021 and going forward, but you never know.
Hey, never know.
Draft Spectacular, April 29th.
Find
never
out
know. No, I would assume they're in an area where they're all training.
Yeah, it's all out in California.
Southern California. It's Jordan Palmer's quarterback summit area, probably. Hunter Henry was just on the Chargers. I say Kendrick's out there as well. So that's probably what it was. But I do like the fact that, maybe Bill gets Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, or he'll take a corner at 15 like he probably will.
Hey, by the way, that's what Bill Belichick has become.
Yeah,
maybe he is.
Who knows?
Maybe he's lying. Hour 2 is on the other side. We'll be joined by Ian Rappaport and your phone calls. This is the Pat McAfee Show on this Monday.
Trick shot challenge. Balcony. Yep.
Next.
Trick shot challenge. Half court shot.
No problem. Matt or Foxy? These are fun games. These are fun little games.
What we want. You did it.
Trick shot. Throw that football. Who?
Easy game. What's next, Foxy?
Got a trick shot for you. Drop kick into the net. Trick shot challenge. Into the bucket.
By the way, I was standing.
Hold on, let me go over here.
Watch that back, you know.
That's a good toss.
You gotta watch behind it for all that shit. What's next, brother? Got any more brain busters? I mean, I'm not sure it's better because we're in a building, but I have to keep it below the lights, below our air venter thing that broke and caught on fire yesterday. Can't go outside because it's a torrential downpour, so let's give it a go. In Indianapolis, Indiana. With the shot. Let's go! I know!
Trick shot challenge. 4 bags in a row.
That's a cornhole. It's not a trick shot. What's next? Cakewalk. What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, you know, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, you know, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on you. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start
you know,
self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. When did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Back to that show Monday, April 12th, 2021, years after zero. Big conversation coming in 3, 2, 1. Now, shout out to Twine for that beat drop. The Hammer Don boys have joined us. Gumpy, how's it going, pal?
Beautiful day, my friend.
How was your weekend? Did you gamble on anything good? Did you make any money?
Big day in soccer Saturday, big day in baseball yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yay.
First five.
Only first fives, my friend.
Yeah, you don't have to watch all 9 innings, and it feels like the starters play the starters. It's more predictable. First 5 innings of baseball can be gambled on. It seems like that's a little bit of a cheat code for at Bubba Gumpino. At Tone Diggs is here as well. How have you been? I remember you started off the Hammer Down daily trip with a 9-0. How you doing? Keep it moving. Are you still hot, pal?
Yeah, we did well in the Masters over the weekend. Anytime you get Hideki up 4 strokes in the last round, minus 120, you just hammer that all day long.
Yeah, my wife and I were watching, obviously, and we wanted to gamble. I have not reloaded into the FanDuel account.
Okay.
Because I had to take a look in the mirror there for a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, have to.
You know what I mean? When you're on a little bit of a schneid that I was on, betting on things you know nothing about. Not waking up in the morning, betting on the Zhongzheng Dragons.
We got Chinese basketball. Let's go.
Okay. They're terrible.
You were out there for a while.
I
Hitting
was.
those, though.
I
mean,
was. But that's what happens.
True.
So then college basketball starts happening. What did I do? Well, I found the big wig.
Of course.
Okay? I got a horse. Buries them. Then guess what? I found another one. Gonzaga. Buried. So then I had to take a little stop. I have not reloaded back into the account. I will. I did miss out on Masters gambling this past weekend, but my wife was heavy in the game. And when I saw whenever he was leading by 4 strokes, and they said it was potentially going to get windy as well, so that means somebody has to shoot 4 under at least to catch up to him, or unless he was just completely bomb all over himself, but you would think he'd be able to play par golf, which inevitably he did not.
Yeah.
So I guess, but at minus 120, Sam, my wife, was like, minus 120, that's not. I'm like, hey, that's
done deal.
Those are good odds.
There's the hammer.
Go ahead and they are some. Are they getting a little bit dumber over there? Are they big dumb stooges over there?
Sounds like
I think they were thinking Hideki may collapse because hasn't been great in the final round, but Hideki did not.
Now, there was a couple moments.
Correct,
Hit the water.
And there was a couple other ones. But never did I think, like, oh, next hole, the person's going to get him.
Yeah.
And that's how you got to think in golf. And at a point, it became math. It was like, okay, 5 strokes, 5 holes left here. Now, okay, there's 4 strokes. Okay, so there's going to have to be a twofer. Then there was. And it was like, okay, you're going to need another one of those. There was a couple basketball games that I went and watched live here in Indianapolis. I think it was Houston-Baylor. Yeah, Houston-Baylor I was watching in the Final Four. Houston would have had to go on 3 individual runs. They would have had to go on 3. Normally runs are like 12-0, 10-0, 13-0. They would have had to gone on 3 of those with 0 expectation of Baylor going on any of them. And when that happens, you're like, okay, this is over. It felt like that yesterday. It was like, okay, there's going to have to be 3 twofers for this to happen. And when the first one happened, it's like, okay, that's definitely a big deal. Still need 2 more of those things. It never felt like he was out of it. What if this dude is a stone cold killer on the course? We got Colin Morikawa, Hideki Matsuyama, Dustin Johnson still golfs every once in a while, right?
Oh, yeah.
Brooks Koepka's coming out with a brand new knee. There might be a nice generation of golfers that are starting to bomb balls back again.
And we got, Will Zalatoris here.
Oh, I completely forgot about Big Willie Style.
He was plus 9,500 pre-flop, pre-tournament.
Now, the memes of him, obviously spectacular.
Yeah.
But how about his fit? By the way, he's maybe one of the most in shape people of all time. He looked like Honnold, the climber.
Yeah, that's right.
He was just incredible. He's a golfer, this guy.
Oh, yeah. Was player.
By the way, the golf community knew about him long before the rest of the world did.
Oh, yeah.
Nick got buried.
A few months late to the party, pal.
By the way, Nick, I would assume, does not follow the golf community. I'm not sure about Nick. Actually, I am pretty sure about Nick. Know him a long time. Not sure he follows the golf community. I'm not 100% sure if that's something you do.
Pat, I came in on Friday night from a nice soak in the hot tub, had a beautiful Friday evening, turned on the TV, saw some highlights of this Zalatoris stooge. He looked like the guy from Happy Gilmore, put a tweet together, sent it out. Didn't expect it to do well, did pretty well.
Did pretty well, hit it. And then immediately, anytime your tweet gets, I would say, over 1,000 retweets or say. That's a big tweet, by the way. You get 1,000 retweets. That's a big tweet. You're going to find the enemy of whatever you put out. That is just a very simple rule to realize in the Twitter world. And you have to expect that. That's kind of like DoorDash, for instance. DoorDash, you're going to get a restaurant to your doorstep that you would never, ever guessed would be possible. And by the way, is it as fresh as it would have been in the restaurant? No. But is the convenience worth the slight? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's also a chance you're going to get the completely wrong order from the wrong restaurant, and you're going to be waiting around for 45 minutes for food that never, ever came. That's the game, baby.
That's the game.
But when you talk about that, there's 2 sides to everything. There's a chance that something great's going to happen. There's a chance something bad's going to happen as well. That's the game.
Oh, and it was fantastic to watch him ball out. And, hey, Schauffele had a chance there on that par 3, and then 16. He put it into the water.
Hey, Zalatoris, when he jumped up into second place, I was like, okay, let's
Here we go.
Hey, we need 2 of those. 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up. Here we go. Because that would be electrifying.
Yeah.
And by the way, if he's going to become a guy, too.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go golf.
Now we go.
And by the way, right behind him, Tiger Woods' kid, Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
Look out. He's already beaten PGA guys. Little John Daly, he's coming in. Golf's about to have a pretty big resurgence.
Bryson.
Oh, DeChambeau.
He pooped the bed all week, but
this course was not set up for Bryson.
No.
He was furious.
Yeah, bro, the greens were this desperate.
Oh, yeah.
How can he dial in accordingly to his science equation he's got going on in his head if whenever the ball lands, there's 0 chance it's going to stop? And that was day 1. That thing was gone. He made it. There was a cut. That course was not set up for Bryson DeChambeau style. But there's some places on the PGA Tour that Bryson DeChambeau is built for.
Yeah, he'll bounce back.
Golf ball whacker guy. Okay, let's talk about a thing that's probably not going to bounce back.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I'm not going to say that because I like to have hope that any team could become a Super Bowl contender, a Super Bowl champion. There has been one team that is in the middle of the biggest media market on the planet. Well, it's not really in the middle of it. It's in another state completely.
Okay.
But it's like 45 minutes, 35 minutes down the road. It's in the shadows.
Yeah.
It is in the shadows.
Yes, it is.
It is in the shadows of the biggest media market on the earth. And they notoriously stink. The New York Jets' history of quarterbacks and history of success is one that nobody would ever talk about publicly in a positive fashion if they had all of the information. A couple of tweets have led to Mark Schlereth having to give an apology video that was absolutely beautiful. I actually got a chance to see that video before it was released, and I want to let you know your reaction to what you saw whenever you watched that video was my exact reaction at my house. I was laughing so hard because it was maybe my favorite video I've seen on the internet. But what he said on this show in some time, what he said on this show was, the Jets fans act as if they're going to get this right. They act as if this quarterback's going to come in and play great football, when just 3 years ago, Sam Darnold was going to do that. Then years before that, this other quarterback. And then years before that, it was going to happen. He said the organization, if you look at tendency, you look at patterns, you look at anything, basically, they're going to fuck this up for whatever reason. They got a new head coach in there. Everybody loves Bob Saleh, okay? We're big. You got a new GM in there who has won before, who's built a team before. Everybody still thinks there is a chance that the Jets are going to fuck this up, and everybody's just seeing how. And if you look back on the Jets franchise with their quarterbacks, and we have a graphic that shows this thing. Look at these records for these quarterbacks as members of the New York Jets. Frank Reich, 1996. Everybody knows him for the Buffalo Bills comeback, and now he's the Indianapolis Colts head coach. He played for the Jets in 1996. He had a record of 1-15.
Frank.
I had no idea that Frank Reich went 1-15 one year in the NFL as a head coach. Or as a starting quarterback. I did not know that. And by the way, I love Frank Reich. This does not change my view at all. You know what my view is, actually? The Jets had a 1-15, not Frank Reich. Vinny Testaverde, okay? His record 31-17, success story. He moves on. Chad Pennington, 39-41. Okay, we're right there in the middle of the ballpark. Brett Favre, he goes 9-7. Geno Smith, 12-20. Josh McCown, 5-11. Neil O'Donnell, he went 9-7. Why didn't they keep him around? Neil O'Donnell will get you to the Super Bowl, and that son of a bitch will throw many interceptions in that Super Bowl.
It's paid off.
Ray Lucas was a starter in 8-8. Brooks Bollinger was a starter 4-12. Markey Sanchez, the Sanchez 34-30. Fitzmagic 15-17. Darnold 13-35. Nobody, damn near nobody, except for Vinny Testaverde. Okay,
Favre.
Brett Favre has a success. Nobody has success there. Is it the organization? Is it the mascot? Is it the team name? Is it that it's in the shadows of New York City? What is it? Why is it? And if you're a Jets fan, how? How did you become a Jets fan when the Giants play in the same fucking stadium? I don't know. I respect the fanhood. I respect the loyalty, but it seems as if all odds are stacked against whoever they drafted number 2.
Well, it's crazy, too, because you look at Sanchez, he goes 34-30. He made it to 2 AFC championships. But really, since those 2 AFC championships when Rex Ryan was the head coach, they haven't been worth a shit since then. And that was, 12 years ago?
And last year, their fans are like, just need you to do what you guys do so often. Just lose.
It's easy.
Hey, just lose, baby. Hey, there's a guy named Trevor Lawrence that's sitting there. He's tall, he's athletic, he's a leader. They say he's the next guy. He's going to come in. I just rattled off a list of quarterbacks that we've gone through, and God bless them all. All right, hey, listen, God bless them all. But if we can get a once-in-a-generation like quarterback, like, other teams have seemed to find much more regularly than us, that would be fantastic. And then what did they do? The Jets went out there and just couldn't even fucking do that?
Nope.
And at the moment, I was so happy for the Jets team because I know what it's like to potentially, go completely defeated. I was a part of a 2-14 team that almost won our way out of a once-in-a-generational quarterback, Andrew Luck. And Dan Orlovsky actually was the one that almost got us out of the Andrew Luck sweepstakes at the end of the year by winning. He was previously on the 0-16 team, so I understood how happy the Jets players were and coaches were and everything like that. But if what I've been told is correct from that time, whenever we won those games at the end of the year, there was some very, very, very mixed feelings at a lot of different levels of the Indianapolis Colts because we potentially don't get Andrew Luck. Now, we do. Obviously, Washington ends up trading with the Rams. The Rams were able to win more games than us. We end up locking in number 1 overall seed or whatever, or number 1 overall pick. But the Jets lost it. And now there's a massive question mark. And you can't help but think, is the trend or the Jets, the Jets, do we suck again? You just got to hope not. You got to hope that Joe Douglas is able to build it again, I guess.
Especially when you look at who was picked after Darnold. Josh Allen, who's at the Bills in the division, could have been the New York Football Jets quarterback. I mean, it's terrible to be a Jets fan.
There's zero chance that Josh Allen, they would have in the shadows of New York City. There is zero chance they would have let him do what he did his first year and let him continue to start. I would think the media would not allow it. You got to remember, Josh Allen, not great his first year. Signs, very athletic, big throws, but the Buffalo Bills were not in conversation. Okay, it was not a, here we go. Then that second year he came back. He was better. It was like, okay, there's a guy. Then this last year he came back. He got even better. It's like, holy shit, they got a guy. I don't know if the patience would have been the same with the New York Jets if they draft him. Now, I know that's just one particular case you're referring to, but just like the Mitchell Trubisky, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson thing, with how how they've done. How do we know that Patrick Mahomes is going to be Patrick Mahomes in the Chicago Bears offense without Andy Reid seeing him on the practice squad and everything like that? Alex Smith potentially happening. I just think that's a tough game to play. But with the Jets, I think you could play that game a lot over the past probably 20 years.
Is that why you think that might be like kind of a factor into that? Is because there is such a short window where it's like, hey, if you don't perform here, your ass is gone. Like, I forget who said it, but they said, Darnold would go 3, or Sanchez said,
boo.
Yeah, Darnold would go 3 and out and get booed out of the stadium. Like, does that factor into the fact that they're too tough on the quarterbacks
in the shadows of New York City.
The Big Apple.
You can't just think. I mean, you can for like 20 years. But we ain't going to let you do it consecutively. We're going to have a lot of people do it.
And that's a lot of regimes there. Like, that's not just one regime consistently picking a terrible quarterback. That's just like failure over and over again. Like,
and you got to start thinking,
Bob was there.
Is it the team? Is it the organization? Is it the building?
Yeah.
Do they got to go sage that place? What? I mean, what?
Bring Rex back.
Got to bring Rex back.
Bring Rex back.
Do you imagine Bob Saleh and Rex Ryan?
Oh, man.
They've had 11 head coaches since 1996, including Bob Saleh.
Do you think Dan Jones?
That's winning football.
That's winning football.
That's with Rex for how long too? Like, you
Man.
take Rex out of that equation.
He was awesome, huh? Rex was a good time over there.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if the social media world was where it was when Rex would walk out to these press conferences in wigs and costumes and talking shit to
Burying
people?
teams, yeah.
Oh my God, it would be insane. He probably wouldn't be able to do it now because so many people would get offended.
Well, that's what anytime you get a hankering for that, the season of Hard Knocks that the Jets were on with Rex. Oh man, it's the best.
Hey,
what do you say at the end of that?
Let's go get a fucking steak.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was. Yeah, they said it was like that all the time.
Yeah.
There's a couple people that I wish we could have seen on Hard Knocks. You know what I mean?
Who are we thinking?
Who is it this year? It's potentially Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
One of the
So
teams
it's going to be the Cowboys then.
Should be.
If it's potentially the Cowboys, it's going to be the Cowboys.
You
Or
would think.
MCDC and the Lions.
Oh, now listen.
Would be awesome.
I like
No,
that.
can't be first year
I
head
don't think
coach.
first year coach can.
Yeah, there's only a couple teams.
Cowboys.
I should have known that. I got fake hyped alongside you.
Damn it.
That's on me. I should not have done that. I apologize.
Cowboys, Panthers, Giants, Broncos, and Cardinals, I believe, are the.
Okay, so
Cardinals
Cardinals.
gonna be good too.
Okay, so who's going to outweigh who? Is J.J. Watt going against Jerry Jones right now?
Mm-hmm.
What would you rather see?
It's Jerry. I mean, I want to see the Cowboys just because I want to see how Jerry is every day.
There's
And
not enough
Big Mike
watermelon.
McCarthy.
Watermelon.
Be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
But with that being said, going to Cliff Kingsbury's his new house every Tuesday night would be pretty cool seeing that.
The thought of us getting a chance to see maybe how Jerry does his business too is very cool for me because I've always had this massive question upon finding out that there's just offices that view the practice field, which is I've only been to one place, but every regime, every person I've ever been around, like, that is not good news. Now, I guess they do have another field, obviously, but the fact that a field that they actually practice on sometimes is very easily viewed by randoms who just so happen to rent office space. I just found that very, interesting because if there was a plane flying overhead too low, everybody'd be like, stop. What the hell is that? It's fucking Belichick, dude. You know what he's doing.
He's back.
That is the type of paranoia around that. And it might have been just the people I was in, and it was a joking thing, but it was, deep down there, it's like, there's that person trying to get is looking a bit a little bit too strong at one particular, like there is that paranoia and everything. So the fact that the Cowboys allow that, and then in the indoor facility, I guess there's a VIP club where you can get tickets to watch practice, because Zeke said, yeah, when we weren't winning, there wasn't really anybody in the VIP club. Now there's people in the VIP club who are doing good or whatever. It was like, okay, who can get into that? I mean, that is what I want to watch if I watch the Hard Knocks. It's like, every dollar that can be squeezed out of this business is being squeezed out of this business. If people are going to pay to watch Dak throw a football, guess what? They're getting paid triple. Yeah. That's what we do down here. I want to learn about that, because there's another organization for a long time that has just been very average. I mean, they have a massive fan base because they always have a team on paper that is star-studded. They're on national television all the time. Jerry Jones is an awesome businessman. I enjoy him as everything. But I want to see, like, why? Why aren't they? And I think that's the biggest thing for me for Hard Knocks when I'm watching is, like, why do these teams stink so
And the thing is, with the Cowboys, you probably would get to see that this season, because normally they go to California or whatever for their training camp. But they probably wouldn't this season, since Texas is much more open than California. So you'd probably actually get to see inside, like, their facility and stuff like that, actually.
So training camp, how much are these? This guy is paying $10,000 a seat per practice, including walkthrough. Who am I to say no to that? Is $10,000 for 45 minutes of Dak walking around not good enough for you? That's what I thought. Okay. Charge them all.
And the stuff that came out last year, too, about the players being like, hey, these coaches, I mean,
these guys can't coach.
They can't do anything. So those interactions, too, it's got to be the Cowboys.
Got to be. Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Listen, boys. All right, we got to get to a break. Ian Rappaport will join us on the other side. I don't know if we'll ask him about this or not, but it has piqued my interest to think about Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys on Hard Knocks, but also J.J. Watt. You know, it could be that's could be fascinating stuff. Ian Rappaport joins us on the other side to let us know what's going on in the world. Is 2 locked in for the Jets? Is 3 locked in? Is 4 locked in? Is Jadeveon Clowney going to be a Cleveland Brown? All that and more with Ian Rappaport, host of Rap Sheet and Friends, which hasn't had an episode since June, will join us in 4 minutes. Cheers. Today's event is me versus a Carolina Reaper pepper. A pepper that has what?
2.2 million Scoville on average. I think it's pretty much the hottest pepper in the world.
In comparison, a jalapeno is
6,000 Scoville.
For every second after it is in my mouth, I don't grab this milk. We'll give $25 to a random person in the comments section right now. $4,500 feels like a good amount to give away, though. And that'd be 3 minutes. This is going to be a long 3 minutes.
That's redder than devil's dick. That crunch. How we doing so far? Doesn't look too bad.
I should have taken a drink of water beforehand, though, because I think I had a dry mouth. I had a little cotton mouth.
Oh, okay. Once the hiccups start, I think you're just about done for. What's your biggest regret in life? Do you have 2 more minutes in you?
I think it's just starting to hit like the peak. The curve on this thing is just starting to go up.
You are handling this much better than Bill did, though. You are, yeah. Billy Tubes was puking 10 seconds in. 130. 130.
It burned my esophagus.
Do you feel like you're going to puke?
Oh, I do.
God, that milk looks ice cold, too.
No!
Beer that broke my heart. Oh, hey, one more.
I'm getting lightheaded now. 25 more seconds in here?
Yep. Now we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dance with me.
How you feel now?
A little bit better, but not quick. Oh, God. That's a bad idea. I need more.
More milk.
Oh, God, God.
Yikes.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show.
Whoa. Hey. Whoa.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Did you hear that little at the beginning?
Oh, strut.
How many people on earth do that? Only a couple probably pull that
Not
off.
enough.
You got to walk on fingers.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Quick fingers.
Quick fingers.
Carlos Santana.
Oh.
Yeah.
Slash.
Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah.
I always say his name because I think he's a very good. I think he's like in the guitar world. Like if guitar people were to watch this, they'd get pissed off probably about, like the super guitar community.
Mm-hmm.
So I always try to. I went into their community one night.
Yeah.
Kind of looked around. I think that's the answer that highly respected guitar judges would say. He's
Joe Bonamassa.
You're talking about Joe Bonamassa. Of course. So I just give our show a little bit of a defense mechanism.
Sure.
That it looks like we know what we're talking about. But to be clear, I've never heard Joe Bonamassa's fingers on a guitar.
But it sounds beautiful.
Hey, he's good, though.
Yeah.
Joining us now is another person who is good at what they do. An insider from the NFL, also hosts a Rap Sheet and Friends, which is a riveting conversation that people are waiting eagerly for the next episode to drop. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport. How you doing, a little loose
I'm
tie?
also waiting, so that'll be fun.
When are you going to do that? You going to do that show ever? What's going on? It wouldn't now be the time?
I mean, now would be a great time. I'm in control of many things. That is not one. I am hopeful for the reboot.
Oh, it got canceled. Whoa. No. No, your show got canceled? Wow.
No,
We
it
are
didn't
so-
get canceled. It's rebooting.
Wow.
Sounds like.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry to bring that up every time.
Fake news. I got a good story for you. You want to hear it?
No. I mean, tell it on the podcast. Hold on, Ian. Every time I bring it up, you should have told me. I feel bad now that we brought up.
It did not get canceled.
Okay, good.
It did
All right.
not.
Well, we're happy because we're fans.
Yeah, I love it.
We're fans.
I stopped it because I wanted to reboot it and go in a little bit of a different and kind of whatever direction with more things. I wanted to follow in your footsteps, and
risque.
there's things in discussions, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Breaking.
We can't wait to watch and listen, whatever it's going to be. Good tease, by the way. And also, Ian, by the way, hey, I'm up to something too. Maybe. But what's the story? You got a good story? What are we talking about?
I got a good story. So I was in Mississippi with my wife's family and talking to one of her relatives, and he told me this story. So he was kind of mentioned me, mentioned my wife Leah to this friend of his, and it's like, okay, whatever. And then he says, and then Max and Jude, who are the names of my two sons, and the guy goes, wait, Jude Rappaport?
Oh.
From the Pat McAfee show?
Oh.
And he was like, he brought his cat on that day, right? And the guy was like, yeah. He's like, oh, that was great. Love the McAfee show. So I didn't get recognized. It was actually Jude for bringing his cat on your show.
Hey, well, shout out Jude. Hey, Jude. That's awesome. And shout out to whoever remembered that happening on the show. You know what I mean? Because that fan is dedicated. So we...
Hats off to you.
Hey, cheers to whoever you are down in Mississippi. I don't know. Probably, I would assume, I'm not 100% certain, but I assume down here in Mississippi, we're talking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Splatoon.
Oh, we got a Splatoon? Does that guy have a Splatoon there? Was there a...
I would say likely, but I couldn't confirm.
Okay, let's not judge a book by its cover, but I appreciate them down there and everybody listening and watching. We also appreciate you and your time because we know your mind is one that knows more than us about some things, not all things. But let's talk about a little bit of the, not all things, let's talk about a little bit of the inside information happening right now. At the top of the draft, we know Trevor Lawrence going to Jacksonville, okay? Check mark, we're all there. We've all bought it in since the pro day where Urban Meyer and he set up his surgery or whatever. At 2 was Zach Wilson, and then at 3 with Mac Jones. Now there's conflicting reports that they're not sold. Are they sold? What are you hearing? And do you think draft night is potentially going to be a pretty big night of action?
It's weird to me when the big trade happens before the draft. We've seen some where it has and some where it hasn't, right? And it does feel like the craziness almost has already happened with the 49ers trading up and the Dolphins trading back and trading up again. So I feel like those trades, it's more fun for me, more fun for everyone if those trades happen before draft night. But they didn't. So I still think we could get some intrigue here because I think you're right on 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. But number 3, the 49ers are doing all the work, right? So they're going to Ohio State for Justin Fields' pro day. Second pro day. They're going to North Dakota for Trey Lance's second pro day. They're all going to be there. And they're going to do the thing where they evaluate everyone. I believe there is a leader in the clubhouse. I don't know who, although the conventional wisdom is that it's Mac Jones, but I know there's been no final decision. I believe Trey Lance would also be heavily in the conversation in San Fran. So we'll see which way they go.
Wow.
Probably the most interesting quarterback decision we've seen in some time, especially if it's Mac Jones, who I think some people view as more of a mid to late first rounder.
Okay, and some people are potentially media people or team people you talk to?
Team people.
Okay, cool.
But,
go ahead.
But it also sort of like, I kind of don't know if it matters, right? Because if the 49ers have number 3 and they just want to get their guy and they know that he is going to be their franchise starter for 10 years, then it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
Yeah.
And they should just go get him. But that pick, how sold they are on Mac Jones at 3, if that is it, is going to be the most fascinating pick we've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah, out of the 32 owners, you only need 1 to be interested. A lot better if 2 are, though. A lot better. Life is a lot better if 2 or more are in that entire thing. So you think Zach Wilson to the Jets is a locked up? And then allegedly now the Falcons are thinking quarterback there with Matt Ryan owed like $100 million and him not being traded by this point. You would assume they're going to take that on. Are they really thinking quarterback, or is there a thought they're thinking narrative that they want people to think they're thinking quarterback, so they trade up to potentially get that particular pick?
I would say first on Zach Wilson, I think he probably does go number 2.
Okay, congrats, Zach.
Joe Douglas basically came out and said at his press conference, like, yeah, I think everyone's been on it. And I'm like, okay, that's not a confirm.
Who said that? Who said that?
Joe Douglas at his press conference. He basically said, like, people seem to know our plans, and then was like, so, I mean...
Wow. Oh, so he's bullshitting it. I would have to watch that back.
Mm-hmm.
That's him calling you guys out, saying that everybody has our plans etched in stone, but maybe I didn't hear the delivery. Was the inference that you guys are full of shit in the insider game? Was that the inference from Joe Douglas?
I don't know. It was kind of deadpan.
So maybe we shouldn't have congratulated Zach.
Yeah, not yet.
Oh, good for Joe.
I mean, I think it's going to be him, but that
Joe
was
D's caught the Oreo.
Yeah. It's like, you know, he used some old takes exposed kind of stuff. He'd be like, "Oh, thanks, guys. I'm going to love New York," and then it's not.
Got it.
The Falcons, though, just as interesting there because you're right. They have Matt Ryan for a lot of money. Not going to trade him this year, but they do have a little bit of a luxury, and they can take, if they want, a quarterback. And a lot of the people I speak with think that the Falcons go quarterback. They have the luxury of just having someone sit for a year or 2 years and just taking their time. Like you hope to never get to pick that high, but if you are, you might as well take a quarterback and just figure it out, right? Because you'd rather have them than not. So, I mean, that's the way. If I had to guess right now, that would be my guess on that.
And there might be a massive offer to get up to 4, depending upon what the first 3 picks do too. So the Falcons are sitting in a pretty good spot there. The thought though of drafting a guy at 4 overall and then basically telling him he's going to sit for 2 years is an interesting kind of you get it, experiment there. How is that going to pan? I don't know. That's an interesting, because Matt Ryan too could potentially be like, well, what is going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a weird thing, but like you said, you never know when you're going to be in a top 4 pick. Mike Tomlin told Chase Young, I don't ever want to lose as many games to get somebody like you or whatever that looks like you, which is real. Once you're up there in the top 5, that is a promise ground both for other people's shit and for something potentially awesome that's a franchise changer. Everybody's talking about Kyle Pitts, Ian. Is there going to be moves to get up to get Kyle Pitts? Everybody's saying he's the only guarantee, aside from Trevor Lawrence, future All-Pro in this entire draft is Kyle Pitts. You think anybody makes a move to go get him?
It's most of the moves up we see, especially at that point of the draft, are for quarterbacks, right? Like, it's rare. You had the Sammy Watkins deal a couple years back. Well, actually, a lot of years back now. You just don't see that many move-ups for non-quarterbacks. You know who Kyle Pitts kind of makes me think of is Quentin Nelson. Because everyone, I know he's a guard, but everybody was in love with him. The whole world, right? So that's what Kyle Pitts is. I couldn't even give you in my notes right over there, which you can't see. I don't have anything negative about him. Everybody loves him. I know he's a tight end, so it's not like a premium position, but he could go, if he went 4, nobody would say that's overdrafting. They'd be like, wow, great player. So I don't know where he's going to go, but it's going to be very high, and everybody is in love with it.
Okay, let's talk about another player that everybody was in love with whenever he was coming into the draft, and since then has had a great career, but maybe not as many highlights as everybody would expect, but still garnering a lot of interest, allegedly. Jadeveon Clowney allegedly has interest from the Ravens and the Colts, but the Browns seem to be the most interested. A flight got canceled this weekend, so now that he's rescheduling his trip back to Cleveland on Wednesday. Is a deal done over there? In a year ago, they tried to get Clowney on there with Myles Garrett on that defensive front. A year after now, here we are, make a playoff win. A lot of hope in Stefanski. Is Clowney in Cleveland something that's destined to happen over there, Rappaport?
How about this? You know what he turned down in Cleveland last year, right? 3 for 57. That is what he turned down, and I don't think he's going to get that here. I mean, if he does end up signing, it'll probably be a shorter-term deal. But
who's your source?
The Browns have been after him.
Who's your source on the 3-year 50-something? Was that a legit thing? Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty legit because he ended up signing a 1-year deal, but like 3 months after that original offer.
Okay. Yeah, because it was post-training camp, everything like that. He was kind of chilling.
Right. So basically what Clowney did was hijack my entire summer, which let's just hope he signs this week so I don't have to do Clowney Watch again next year. Saying, like, I got golf to play.
Yeah. Clowney gives a single fuck about Ian Rappaport's golf game. How is your golf game? Pretty good?
I haven't played yet this offseason. I might get one round in before the draft. After the draft, I'll be playing a lot. I am very mediocre.
Okay, you even towards the end of after the draft, before the season starts, where there's nothing really happening, that's big, so you don't have to be on your phone all the time. How does your game get to? Do you get to be pretty good, or do you lose money every time you're on the course?
I don't lose money. I don't gamble because that would be illegal. I would say, why'd you laugh?
That was very quick. That was very, that was very good.
Anyway, so I would say I start out a little rough, and then by the end, I mean, it's all public, so you could look it up if you want to. I'm a 10 now. I was a 12 when I started last year. I got down to about a 9 handicap, and now I'm about a 10. So I'm mediocre.
Okay, you're a player. What do you have, Connor?
Yeah, Rap Sheet. There's a report from Mike Lombardi that the Washington football team was really high on Trey Lance. Do you see? Is that real? And if they were to trade up, would that be a draft night move?
It would be a draft night move if they were going to move up. I would say they've done a lot of homework on quarterbacks. So Lance is the one. Like, let's say Lance doesn't go 4 to the Falcons, right, which we just discussed. then I don't know where he goes. So he might be someone who goes from 4
Denver
through the top 10 and then maybe is available at like 10, 11, 12. And if the Washington football team is interested, and they do have some interest, then maybe that would be a trade-up scenario. But that would be, talk about the storylines as they develop from the draft. If the Falcons don't go Trey Lance at 4, I'm not sure where he goes. So then it's going to be like, who would trade up and take him? I think that's going to be really – looking at it right now, like Eagles take quarterback, probably not. Chargers, no. Vikings, no. Patriots, maybe. Cardinals, no. I mean, you get into Washington pretty quick there. They could make a quick trade up, and it would probably be worth it if they believe he's their quarterback or the future.
Okay, so the Broncos, they're at 9 or whatever. Can I talk to you about the Broncos real quick? Because now there's a report that they did have an offer out for Matthew Stafford, and then the Rams came out and won that thing.
That's true.
It feels like, from the outside looking in, it feels like the Broncos have been in a lot of quarterback conversations at this point. And do you think they're going to make a move for a quarterback? What do you think their plans are, especially with Drew Lock now definitely knowing all of these things potentially happened?
Well, there's two things that are going on because they were in, I think they were in all the quarterback conversations. So and that's one thing about George Payton. I mean, Minnesota used to be involved in every single trade talk, and I think the Broncos have been involved in all of them too. He likes to get in the mix and see what's there. So Drew Lock knows that.
Hold on. I love the fact that there's a GM that's like, oh, what's going on? What do you guys? Who we have here? What do we think? Who needs? You need what? Oh, can't do it. God. I love that. That's potentially how a GM operates.
There's like 5 of them now. That's why all these trades have happened, because you got like Howie Roseman wants to be involved in every single trade talk. Scott Fitterer with the Panthers now. Every single trade talk. Payton with they just want to be. John Schneider will be in every single trade talk. If something happens, good. But that's why we've seen more trades.
Oh, that's awesome.
These guys don't care.
Who's available? Who's available? What do you got? I ain't good enough. I can't. Let's go get it. I got a guy. You need? Oh, I got 2 guys. Oh my! It's fantasy football all of a sudden happening out there.
I mean, this has been our offseason the last 3 years, kind of, right? I mean, that's why we've seen so many trades.
It's starting to kind of pick up a little bit, and it's only going to expedite that whole thing. And I said this maybe a week or 2 ago, and I'm assuming I'm not the only person that thought of it. I am a PHM. I have a multitude of philosophies.
How about that?
But the thought, do you know what the PH in PhD stands for?
Pharmacology?
No.
You don't know.
You don't know.
You have no idea.
You don't know.
That was a great guess.
Yeah,
sure. For who?
It's philosophy. It's the doctor. The D is doctor, and you're a doctor of philosophy, I guess. But anyways, I have a multitude of philosophies, so I'm PHM, and one of them is once this 17-game season succeeds here, and the money booms, and they got the super wild card weekend now. It's easy to think that there's an 18-game schedule coming much sooner than the 16-game to 17-game jump, right? Don't you think? Am I wrong in thinking that with kind of like where the money's going? They're saying a $250 million salary cap is attainable in 4 years. Amazon's getting in the game. Apple, let's assume they'll get in the game. There's going to be a lot of money that is going to be asking for more product. And the NFL adds another game. They add 2 more games to Wild Card Weekend. Are we seeing a potential growth in the season here with this gateway drug of the 17th game potentially becoming 18? Seriously, though, that's a real
Feels
question.
like my 7th grade health videos. I think it would take a while. I don't think you're crazy, not about this, but I just think it would take a while because this was in a way, this was like the reaction to the pandemic. Like this was in the CBA. It was a lever they could pull. All right, 17 games, more money. Everyone benefits, right? Because the players basically split it or a little less. So this made sense. To do the next one, you'd have to have a reason for it. And I don't know just all right, we could all get a little bit richer than we already are is enough of a reason. So I don't know that it's nice. I mean, being rich is nice. I wouldn't know. You would maybe know more than me, but cool. I just don't know that it's something that would make it imminent. You know?
I've been broke. I've been rich. It is pretty cool. But I just assumed with everybody's pockets getting bigger and maybe the demand for more product or whatever, I just assumed it would happen there. Other things that are potentially changing with the NFL, and we're talking to Ian Rappaport, who is one of the voices of the National Football League.
That's right.
The conversations that are happening, the competition committee is meeting, and obviously these particular meetings is when rules get made and changed and everything like that. The Sky Judge rule is one that we were super pumped about here in this particular office because we saw the XFL institute it, the old Xbox controller video right to the ear of the ref on the field, who I was standing literally right next to as a reporter, didn't have to move. Hey, this is what we see. This is why you're wrong. Let's go ahead and pick up that flag and move forward. It seemed to expedite the entire process and be quick. The NFL allegedly pitched that maybe to help the review process. Now they're out on it. What are you hearing on this particular thing, and what should we expect coming out of these meetings, and what rules are coming?
Yeah, I think this will be the news after the draft. There's going to be a league meeting in May, which could end up actually being where all the rules get. First of all, it could be in person, which we'll see, but that would be kind of fun to see humans again.
We handshake?
And,
Okay. Hey, good to see you.
No handshake. I'm out. No. Handshakes are done forever.
Hey, good to see you.
Hey,
fair enough.
Fist bumps.
Yeah.
Elbow/wrist. Just give a little. Yeah. That's the word when I see people at soccer practice or little league, whatever. Just the hand.
I don't get.
No shakes. Anyway,
it's closer to your inner hand.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to let you know.
Yeah.
Seems like that's closer to the inner hand than if you were to just maybe turn that thing around.
Yeah, be careful.
Because look, it can sneak in the side door here. You ever try to hold water in your palm? It's always going to sneak out. When you do this one here, it feels like COVID could jump right up in there.
Yeah. So just fist, you think?
Yeah, I think we can stay there. I think.
Yeah.
That's so.
I mean, it
pretty
makes
close.
sense. I'm sneezing into my elbow. Why would I want to elbow bump someone?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because now you're trying to.
Yeah.
Now you're like,
Hey,
Rap sheet.
hey.
No handshakes. We can sneeze in our hands again.
You know,
right there.
you're right. No handshakes, then you sneeze directly into hands.
Oh,
Hey, benefit.
even better.
Yeah, because that would be actually customary now. Good call at COVID Cowboy, who's an unicorn. So you're actually thinking about other people there, which we do appreciate. Anyways, these rules, though, these rules that are potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that the Sky Judge has been a tough sell, but it kind of has been. And, it's you talk about the 18 games and how fast that could come. All these changes are so incremental. I mean, the only thing that went really, really fast was where pass interference could be reviewed, and obviously that did not go great.
Whoa!
Hey!
Whoa!
I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you saw that. It was a couple of seasons ago. It was kind of a thing.
Whoa! Listen,
it didn't go great.
It didn't go great because your employer was demanding Alberto Riveron have this ridiculous amount of evidence to overturn the call. The entire world would agree on a call, and all of a sudden, out of Alberto's mouth to whatever stooge ref was on the field was coming out, and they would disagree with all of us. I think it would have worked. It was executed improperly.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about any of that. Plus, I have no official opinion. But anyway,
hey, real quick, off record. Nobody's listening, just you and me here.
Oh, no one's listening?
Are you allowed to talk about something like that? No, probably not.
I probably am, but I wouldn't.
Have you ever gotten told? Have you ever gotten told, hey, stay away?
People aren't interested in my opinion. Whoa. Unless it's informed,
Hey, we are.
They tell you?
Hey, man, we are. Our show stinks, but we appreciate your opinion over here a lot.
So anyway, big changes always take a million years, and for some reason, it doesn't seem like the Sky Judge has really taken hold. I don't know. I'm not sure this is going to be the year either. It seems to make a lot of sense. It would also be a lot of cooks in the whatever kitchen thing, So I don't know. Might be another year for the Sky Judge. We'll see. We'll see in May if I can see people in person and maybe ask them about it.
Well, I'll tell you, if you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of the kitchen. Make a decision that's better for everybody, okay? I don't care how many cooks are in there. Get old buddy with the British accent, big blonde hair.
Gordon Ramsay.
Get him in there, and he'll start counting all the cooks and tell them what to do. Let's get this thing right. Let's go ahead and sell some food out here. What do you have?
Yeah, Rap Sheet. J.C. Treader came out and said he would urge players to boycott if teams do in-person OTAs. Is this going to be a problem down the road, or will this get settled soon?
Oh, it's going to be a beef. Hey, can't have boycotts without a little bit of
It's going to be a thing until it gets settled. And I think this is what's going on right now. The NFL and the NFLPA are going back and forth on what the offseason is going to look like. The NFL can say, based on the rules, that it's, here's what's in person. So I would expect, from what I'm told, some to be in person, to have some sort of OTAs or mini camp or something
I know it's gonna
normal. Something normal. So
I know it's gonna
I don't know what it's going to be. And, if Treader gets everyone to boycott. It would be
they're not
interesting, but it would be the first time that players would be all in unison on anything in the history of the world.
Yeah,
it's just too many of them.
Yeah, that's while you were talking there. I don't know if you heard me back here going, know exactly what's going to happen, because the way you just said the NFL can list it as this, that means the NFL has already decided, like, hey, we'll say it's voluntary. Hey, it is voluntary. You don't have to come. Now, we will report potentially who's here and who isn't here, and I assume there'll be some younger guys that maybe have never got an opportunity. They'll be here, and if you would like to be here, it'll be one of those things where it'll become possible. It'll become a PR thing, and there's no chance the players will win, because it's like, hey, go do your job. What, you only work 6 months? That's just easy. Now, granted, players.
It seems we've seen something like this before, no?
Oh, dude.
And this feels very familiar.
You got to remember, I was a part of the lockout year, the part of the lockout year. And my friends are all very big NFL fans. I think that is potentially why, I come from a massive NFL fanhood community, basically, which is, I think, why some of this show actually works. But during that lockout, I'd go see somebody. It was awesome. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think they should do it every offseason. I thought that. But I'd go see my friends. They're like, why don't you guys go back to fucking work? We're locked, dude. It's not a strike, okay? It's a fuck you. It's like, that's not how it goes at all. The PR is always problematic for the players in this whole thing. Ty, what do you have?
Ian, what the hell's going on in Green Bay? An article came out that said Rodgers' contract situation is impeding them from signing free agents, but then they haven't done a damn thing with it. Have you heard anything about what's going on up there?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the Packers aren't big free agent guys anyway, and
I know.
I mean, they re-signed Aaron Jones, who's their own guy, which is a lot of money, and that's technically a big free agent, even though he was theirs. That's not where they roll unless they feel like they absolutely had to, like when they signed the Smith brothers a couple of years ago. It made it difficult at the beginning because basically they wanted him to just convert it for salary cap space. He wanted an extension. They didn't do either, so they just kind of moved on to giving doing that to other players, like Zadarius Smith got his thing converted, which just creates cap space, doesn't give anyone anything. But it did stall them for a little bit. Now, how many guys would the Packers have signed? I have no idea. They basically re-signed, almost all of their own guys except for Lindsley. But it's a thing. I mean, it's definitely based on his contract now, just based on his contract, there's no guarantees he's with Green Bay after this year. So I don't know what could happen. I mean, they definitely, because they haven't done anything, have left it open.
Ian, I want to let you know, we all say that as well because it's reality. If you look at the business of the NFL, when there's only 1 year of guarantees left, everybody's automatically going to question, okay, especially at that quarterback position. If it was punter, by the way, nobody's having this conversation. It's the MVP, it's quarterback, it's the whole thing. You have to have the convo. Packers fans do not want to hear it, though. They do not want to hear it. They're going to be mad at you for saying what you just said, just like they get pissed off at me. We all want Aaron to be in Green Bay for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Me, what?
I mean, hey, look, if he wants to come to New England and
all right,
feel free.
All right, Ian, thank you. Oh, Pittsburgh, maybe. Yeah, listen, Ian, thanks for stopping by. Next time, bring Jude. We'd all appreciate it.
I will do that. I'll upgrade your guest list. And thank you, guys. I'm going to go back to my real job now.
Hey, Ian, you are awesome. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport. Of the NFL Network, obviously, and NFL.com. I enjoy our banters.
Yeah.
He gets it.
Real bummer about his podcast, too.
Yeah, he got canceled.
Yeah, what the hell?
So I rebooted. I felt terrible bringing that up. I brought it up every single time. And he's just sitting there like, yeah, it's coming back, man. Yeah. Really, he's like, I'm all out. I'm so sorry, dude.
Man.
I am so sorry.
Your name on it.
What do you got, Diggs?
I don't know if you have enough time to answer this, but I saw a tweet this morning based on all reviews for all leagues. If it went to the office where they do the reviews and they didn't know the original call, would that be a good idea? Like they wouldn't know if it was called pass interference on the field or not.
No, because the clear and obvious, I feel like, is a part of it. Because for me, the clear and obvious is like, if this takes you more than 30 seconds, it's not clear and obvious. Like, I think that is a built-in protector almost of the decision potentially taking forever, although it doesn't. Now, that is interesting though. Like, hey, something happened in this play. Fucking let us know what it is. I mean, I don't know. That would take forever, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, what are we trying to figure out here? Was there a head? No, there was no helmet. Hey, was there a hold? No, was he in bat? Yeah.
Watch the clip.
Why'd you guys send us this? Why'd you send us this? Okay, so there's no call. All right, so the ruling on the field has been overturned. There is no call. I guess that's how that would work. But I just think it should be somebody. Just let them phone it in, dude.
Yeah.
Make it an ex-player. No, but then there's ties. But make it a young ref then or something. Like just maybe in a retired ref. Like have them do it from their house.
Yeah.
Pereira. Hey, let's go. He's got to be on TV. Says Blandino and Sterator. But get those three out of TV. That's what you do. Bring them back. Have them run the entire. Have them each have computers.
Yeah. Yep. Have them pick the teams or the guys who are making the calls.
We got to get to a break. On the other
Mike
side,
Carey, bring him back.
Yes.
Yeah, see? That's what I'm talking about. We got to get to a break. In about 6 minutes, AJ Hawk will join us on the other side. There's a lot to talk about. I think he was at the Masters.
Whoa,
this
really?
is the Pat McAfee Show. We'll see you in 6. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I can get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who play for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
I told her about it. The expectations of the New York subway. Don't worry about it.
Pat McAfee. This environment is electric. We just walked in here, and I'm expecting some magical stuff to happen here this evening.
The guy who lost, he's been arrested and reported 13 times.
A baker's dozen is a lot of times to get caught doing something wrong and going to jail. It's almost kind of nice to see that Russian kid play bongos on his face there, but it's been awesome this evening.
As a former NFL player, who's the guy that you think would be pretty good in the ring?
The only name that came to mind was a guy named Robert Mathis, okay?
Yeah.
Robert Mathis, not only this incredibly tough man, but the way he utilized his hands as an undersized defensive end. The human cockfighting world is one that I am very intrigued by. The amount of training, the amount of discipline, the amount of strategery, everything about it. The dude's got cinder blocks attached to his wrist. I think tonight is going to be a big night against Tarasenko.
I was going to say it 3 different ways.
Tarasenko. But I just think Triple G is such a magnetic fighter, and that's why this place is lit up the way it is. I was told not to blink, keep my eyes open. I brought Visine, I brought the vitamins, and I am expecting something awesome to happen.
Winner by unanimous decision.
Hey, wait, are we on the screen right now?
Big screen in Madison
Square Garden. Hey, mama, we made it.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show, Hour 3 on this April 12th, 2021. We'll begin immediately following this beat drop from a man named Twan. There it was, here we go. AJ Hawk joins us. Wow. AJ, I gave away a tease. I tried to tease, gave it away, because I think it was something that nobody would have expected. AJ Hawk, massive weekend for you, huh? Want to talk about it?
Whoa.
Want to talk about it?
Yeah, I got a late invite to the Masters, and so I was.
Whoa! Click clack! This dude's at the Derby, okay? At a living high. This guy is at the American Century Championship golf tournament of the Celebrity.
That's right.
And this guy is going to the Masters, ladies and gentlemen. AJ Hawk! AJ Hawk! AJ Hawk! AJ Hawk! Hey, COVID Cowboy, good work there. One little extra one to kind of close it home there. But AJ, you're a blue-collar hero, pal. You're a stupid Ohio kid. You're not supposed to be at all these places. Look at you at the Masters walking the grounds down there.
Yeah, you're right. It's I guess it pays to have friends that have connections. And luckily, Jordy Nelson actually texted me late Friday and said, hey, I got an extra ticket Sunday if you can get down here. I made it work, and I came back last night.
Jordy took off from his softball tournament to go down to the Masters. How was it so cool? By the way, Jordy, we've got to talk to him, 2 times now on the show?
Yeah.
Yep. 3 times. I think we're going out to Kansas to do something at some point eventually. Yeah, I can't wait for it. I saw a video of him chasing Don cows at a state fair at one point there, so we're going to go do that. Seems like coolest dude of all time. I'd assume you feel that way about him, yeah?
Yeah, Jordy he's the absolute man, all around, like just awesome guy, and he's also a lot of fun to do anything with, especially to go to something like the Masters or any kind of event. Jordy is a guy that he brings a lot of value, I think.
Did you do a lot of walking? A lot of walking, huh? That shit's like this and like this too. I seen it because they're talking about it. You know, the decline on this hill is much more than it looks like on TV, and I'm like, really? Are they mountain climbing? Are they Alex Honnold over there? Is it a lot of tough terrain to walk around over there?
It's definitely very hilly, up and down. I mean, you know to expect it. I posted up a few times, so
smart.
You're not allowed to even bring your phone in. Like, you go through metal detectors and everything. So I guess there's a place you can check your phone by the gate if you want to come back and check it. I don't know. But we just left him in the car, and I had to go to the airport at like 5 o'clock. I was being picked up. They said, all right, meet back here. It's like you're in third grade back in the day before your phones and everything. Hey, your parents drop you off. I'll pick you up 9 hours later right here. So I had to figure out where that was. And we got there we got there at 8:30 in the morning. The first group didn't tee off till 10, and I stayed till 5. And I got separated from the 3 other people I was with at probably 10:45, and I never saw them again. Not seen them. A lot of time on my own to reflect.
So it's just you and your thoughts roaming around Augusta, wondering where, because there's no chance you're going to find them. It is huge. It is huge.
And by the way, everybody's dressed the same too. Everyone's dressed like a golfer. So I didn't fret. I sat there, I posted up a few different spots that people told me to, and I kept my eyes peeled the whole day. And guess what? For 6 straight hours, I never found who I was looking for.
Did you sell out? Did you try to join any other groups at any other time? And did you join any other groups? Was there anybody that looked familiar? You walk up and like, hey, how's it going, guys? How we doing?
Masters, huh? What you about this?
Did you join any other groups while you kind of roaming aimlessly around Augusta for 6 hours?
Well, I thought about it a few times. I made a big mistake. I assumed it's Augusta. You can't smoke cigars. And every once in a while, I'd be sitting in my little spot, and I'd be like, I would catch a whiff of somebody had a cigar, and I never asked anybody to bum a cigar, but I definitely should have. If I would have brought a box of 10 cigars, I would have smoked them all, and it would have been the greatest day ever.
So you talked to nobody. I thought it would be like that at the Masters, by the way.
It was great, though. It was great. It was. No, what I'm saying is I hate that I got mixed up. I hate that I got lost from my group.
Was it like Kevin in Home Alone? How did you?
No, I just went about. I just assumed I would eventually find them. Like, hey, okay, here. I knew we talked about watching Spieth. Spieth's coming up. I'm going to follow him for a little bit. Maybe I'll find a way to see them across the fairway or whatever. And then all of a sudden, 4:30 hits. I got to find a way to get out to the north gate where I'm getting picked up. And I just make the trek on back and get in the plane and come on home.
It was somebody you didn't expect to see that you saw that you were definitely too scared to go talk to.
Oh no, I didn't see anyone like that.
Really? I thought that was the big deal. That's why you can't have phones out there, because you never know who's going to be walking around.
I'm sure there is, but I mean, you had to be wearing masks the whole time, and I wasn't really. I mean, I was watching the golfers. I basically just ate all the different kind of food Augusta has and was getting the nice draft beer sitting there by myself.
How's that cheese sandwich?
Ooh. Terrible. I would never try that. Never.
You said you tried all the food.
Yeah. No. I said I ate a lot of food. I didn't try all of the food. I bought some.
Now you're back. I think you got a little lost in your mind. I think you got a little lost there.
Maybe I said I tried all of the food. I will not try the pimento cheese situation. That's not really
any good cookies or anything in there. Any good treats?
What?
Cookies?
No, I didn't have any of those. I ate enough chicken sandwiches that they have there. A lot of the trail mix and things. And I saved my little souvenir cups for my beers, so I brought those home.
How many did you have down there? 3, 4? Were they big boys?
No, they weren't that big. They were probably
20?
16 ounces. Yeah, I mean, 3 or 4. Yeah, it was the most beer I've had in a while. And I was just sitting there by myself. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll find somebody I know eventually.
Hey, by the way, I think that was life in like 1990. No internet, no phones, just drinking beer all by yourself.
I'll find it. Hey, it was cool. You know what I realized, though? All of a sudden I got picked up, and I started thinking, I'm like, I haven't spoke for 6 hours. Other than to say thank you to the people I bought food from, that's all I said.
What an experience.
Yeah.
Wild. When did you fly down? Did you see did you see both days?
No, just ticket was just for Sunday, so I flew in Saturday night and then just got up and went right to the course.
What a fucking experience. Jeez. Hey, man, happy you got to, that's Augusta.
Yeah.
It's going to happen sometimes.
Experience.
When you take a trip back in time, no phone. They go through metal. What is going? So no photos can be taken, no nothing can be taken. There's not. I could understand.
Masters.
I could understand like if you bring your phone out, like hey, put your phones away. It's Masters, like it's a show or whatever. But the thought that, because I mean, you could very easily see how you could get lost for 6 hours roaming the grounds, just like you. You probably had. What's that worst case scenario there at the Augusta?
No, it's not worst case. I mean, it turned out great. Like I wish I would have been able to hang with the guys I came with, but it wasn't like it was a wasted trip. I still had a great time. It was a beautiful place.
What golfer did you get to see Matsuyama at all? Who'd you get to watch? Did you see any good shots that we got to see on TV?
Yeah, well, I mean, I got there an hour and a half before the first group teed off, so yeah, I got to see a lot of the guys in the field. I followed Spieth for a bit. I was hoping he'd make a run to the little, the skinny guy. Zalatoris. I watched that dude for 8 or 9 holes, man. The crowd was loving him. They were that guy was dialed in. He was locked in, very impressive. And I followed Bryson for a little bit. He was awesome. He was out of it, so he started. The great thing was they only allowed 3,200 spectators, I think, so it's way down. So you could actually get front row and see those guys. And Bryson pulled 3 wood out once, and everyone at the tee box is like, "Oh man, oh!" And he said, kind of sat and looked at everybody, and he threw it back in the bag and grabbed the big dog. And going crazy,
bro. He's starting to become a showman. He's starting to become a showman.
That's awesome. Hey, the best part though? He's like, "What?" He's like, "I'm 3 over today. I'm way out of it anyway. Who cares?"
Oh, he's doing bits. He's doing bits.
Let's go. He bombs a drive into the left woods.
Oh, yes.
It was awesome.
He's awesome. That's great for golf.
Yeah.
By the way. Imagine when that's on TV and there's a big crowd packed out whenever he's out in Arizona or whatever. If he's in any of that stuff, and he has like the, he pulls out like an iron or something, and everybody, no. Oh, so he puts it back in the bag a little bit. He pulls out another one. Puts it back in there. Then he brings out the drive. That would be fucking electric. Welcome back, golf, if that's happening. We talked about it. It was cool to watch, man. It was obviously, anytime something is the first ever to happen in the long ass time we've been around, the first time ever is a cool thing. First Japanese golfer to win the Masters. That was really awesome. Were you there for the celebration, or did you have to leave before that, I guess?
No, I watched him win from like the little airport lounge with old Bernhard Langer was in the lounge too, watching him taking a smoothie.
Oh, Bernhard, of course.
Yeah. Great golfer himself.
What a day, AJ.
What
a day, you're right.
Who is Bernhard Langer?
Oh, legend, dude.
Great German golfer.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Sharp with the iron.
That's my guy.
Langer to banger.
So you and Langer to banger out there, just hanging out?
I didn't technically say anything to him.
He won the Masters twice. Congrats to Langer.
Yeah. Good work, Langer.
I thought he was supposed to be standing at like the
in Baller Cabin.
The picture thing, the picture thing they do. Hey, Langer's like, oh, I'm fucking done with this. Sticking around? 9, dude.
Should have looked for Fitzmagic, AJ. He was hanging out up there.
Yeah, did you see Fitz? Did you get to talk to anybody cool? No, you said no. You saw nobody.
I saw nobody, and I spoke to nobody. So
Well, what?
I feel like that's AJ's dream day.
Yeah.
Oh, my God,
it was like a weird reset. Like, okay. All of a sudden, like 11. Bro,
did you not think you
though.
missed everything? Did you not think to yourself, like, a couple hours into it, like, I wonder if, like, maybe the world just blew up?
What's going on?
Like, there was never a thought. Man, the anxiety I think I would feel would be I feel like I would miss everything.
How long would you last if that happened to you?
I don't know.
30 minutes,
Not
maybe.
even.
Over the Masters?
Dude, I'd be sitting like this. I'd be sitting like this. There would be like probably a 5-second, 5, 10 maybe minutes. I don't know. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it home. I need my phone. I'll watch it on there. I don't know how you did it. I'm so impressed by that.
It was nice. It was nice. People say like, oh, it's a good. Like, I thought I would be that way, that I'd want to check my phone or whatever, or be worried. Like, but no, like I don't like having a phone to begin with. If I didn't have a wife and kids, I probably wouldn't use a phone. But I did not mind not having one.
What, are you going to go live out in the fucking woods, dude?
No.
Amish Hawk.
No, I need a phone to listen to like the podcasts I listen to and music, but other than that, I don't need one.
Okay, man.
You're fucking
power to you.
You're awesome, dude. So yesterday was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday was really cool.
I made the best of it. Yeah, I sat a few times. I was like, man, I bet some people would really struggle with this. They'd be worried that they can't find their group and everything, and I just relax and just let it go.
You use this as a mental test. Like, hey, this isn't an obstacle. This is an opportunity.
Ooh.
Okay. How would other people react versus how will I react in this situation? I'll tell you what, you did much differently than I. I would have been trying to find a crew to hang with.
Yeah, or shooting the shit with somebody.
Hey,
it was nice. Well, I got to overhear a lot of the golf banter being spoken from everybody. That was very fun to hear the different things going about. But I took advantage of not having to listen to anybody else. You know, I remember like, okay, we're going to go to 15 and 16 and 19. That people want to do all this stuff. I was like, oh, do I want to stand up and go get some more peanuts and maybe go find Bryson or whatever? Okay, yeah, let's do that. I'll leave this little chair here and come back later.
Bro, the 19th green at 9.
Man, be careful.
I'll get you.
I can't tell if it's like your camera or what, but it looks like your neck is absolutely barbecued. Did you get sunburned really bad yesterday?
Did you take a trip to the sun, dude?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I was out there for a while. I was loading up on suntan lotion because I am super pale.
Well, did you wear the bucket cap or what you have?
Yeah.
Just flat bill?
Just a regular hat, sunglasses. Yeah.
Oh, can't do that. You gotta wear the full bucket cap, dude.
Believe me, and that's another thing of being by myself. I didn't have to worry about like pushing up to see things. I sat back in the shade a lot of times and just watched from a distance.
Oh, because you were on your own time. You're doing Masters your way.
Hey, Jordy. So Jordy stayed into that, like the ending ceremonies, did everything. He was leaving later that night, and he texted me. He's like, "Hey man, where'd you go? Are you all right?" This is like 7 hours late. This is after I was in Atlanta on my connector when I got that text.
Jordy's talking to somebody too that is maybe a mutual friend of yours. AJ was here.
Yeah.
10:45ish. We haven't seen him. Damn, all day.
Hopefully he's okay.
Do you think that group ever thought like?
Where the
AJ?
Hey, we still find AJ.
AJ's going to come back. Do you think they ever had those thoughts or no?
I don't know. I doubt they did. Maybe they did. They probably assumed. They're like, oh yeah, he's probably in the bathroom. He's coming back, and then they look up and it's 6:30 and Matsuyama just won.
At what point did you split up from them, AJ? Like, what was the conversation there?
We were going back and forth from the driving range. Then they wanted to go into like the merchandise area and buy a bunch of stuff. They make so much money in there, man. They sell so much.
Oh yeah,
and I just kind of. I cruised around, did a lap, bought some SPF 30 suntan lotion, and cruised right back out. And then all of a sudden, I realized, all right, I guess we're split up.
So you got left. They left you out there.
Yeah. I trailed off, and I wanted to watch the first group tee off. The first group teed off. It was Adam Scott. And I was like, oh, there's the course right there. And I walked out, and then all of a sudden, that's when I turned around. And I'm like, oh, there is no way to find these guys.
By the way, I love the fact that Ty's question is about your sunburn. And the reason why you were left all by yourself is because you were thinking about your potential sunburn. That is a beautiful thing. Well, let's talk about some football, shall we? Welcome back to 2021. I heard the trip back in time was pretty electric. Have you heard anything in the NFL world that has piqued your interest today via our conversation with Rappaport or anything else popping off around the internet?
I know the whole A-Rod situation from Bob Domofsky and all of that. Did Rappaport have anything on that?
Bob Domofsky, I'm not sure Rappaport said anything other than we all know what's going on. I think that's basically, we all see what's going on with the one-year contract. I don't think he gave away any tips or hints on whether or not they're renegotiating right now or working on anything or thinking about it. I think he just basically echoed what we all have thought, right?
Yeah, he just said, yeah, it's very interesting that nothing's happened yet, but he really didn't, say anything beyond that.
Ty, does this worry, AJ, does this worry you at all?
It does worry me. Yeah, it definitely worries me.
It's lingering. It's lingering. This is a lingering thing. And listen, we didn't make this up. We are just telling you what is being reported by people who are inside in the reporting world or whatever. It just seems like this is a lingering story. I don't like it. Hey, no. I don't like it one bit, AJ.
I just wonder what the back and forth has been like. How much communication is going on? Are they negotiating a deal? And it all comes down to, doesn't it, like whether they want to commit or not, that A-Rod is going to be the guy for the future, or do they just want to give him like a 1-year, 2-year extension?
That is kind of the question. Do you think this guy could potentially go? Because what's long-term nowadays anyways? Everybody's like, well, he's not going to be our quarterback for a long term. It's like, well, is Tom Brady going to win them 2-3 Super Bowls? Is that an okay thing to have for 5 years? Is that an okay thing to have on your team? Or do you want the quarterback to be great 8-9 years from now? I just think that long-term answer conversation is one that isn't I think at one point it was great to have a figurehead, a staple. This is what we built our team around. But then as the game has kind of changed, I don't think it's that big of a deal. So if you can get a guy for the next 5 years, science is telling us, could be able to maintain a very high level, why wouldn't you do that? That is just what we're all asking.
Yeah, coming off an MVP season where he played arguably better than he has, since they won the Super Bowl. It just...
Hey, Mike Florio said that Mark Murphy maybe has figured out a way to reach the pissed off levelness of Aaron Rodgers to make him the best he can possibly be. Ooh. Is that a real thing? Is that a real thing? And if it is, by the way, Mark Murphy, I hope, has videos of him and certain dates being like, because this would be awesome. We're gonna trade up to get a quarterback because this team, this roster, if we get a superhuman quarterback, we could potentially make a run yet again without having to pay anybody. Let's go ahead and do that. If this is one big master plan to get him to the right pissed off level and play his best football, that's bravo. I actually enjoy that whole thing.
Well, I mean, I think it's possible it could get to that, but I don't think it's a conscious effort by Mark Murphy and the Packers to try to facilitate that and like, oh, yep, this is all part of the master plan. I mean, come on, there's got to be a point, right? Like Isn't there a point to where you're too pissed off, or both sides are? There's just too much animosity between the two that it's not going to be good moving forward.
You would think. I mean, I'm on the team. Like, hey, let's make Human happy. Work hard.
He has 2 years left, right? You have 2 years left on this deal?
I think three with 1 year guaranteed left. So there's 2 years on the back end that aren't guaranteed, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe that is the setup of the thing.
So if you gave him a 2 year extension, that's basically a 5 year deal, right?
Yeah, and that's till he's 41, which feels pretty good deal we can re-examine here. And with what we're learning about science and how you take care of your body and the way the game's being played now, there's a chance you're going to be able to sign another 3 year, 2 year deal whenever you get 41 as well. There's a chance that conversation could happen, right? I mean, that could happen. The fact that it isn't is why we're talking about it at this particular time.
It should be happening. I mean, as someone who still suffers from PTSD from Brady leaving, if they let Rodgers walk out the door, the whole entire team changes.
AJ, I talked about this earlier. Peyton leaves, wins Super Bowl. Tom leaves, wins Super Bowl. Who else is on that Rushmore there? Okay, if you just do the thing. He's like, you'll probably, if he walks out the door, you're potentially, we're not saying definitely, but you're potentially going to have to experience what we felt in Indianapolis. Like, well, the guy's better than he's ever fucking been somehow. And then what New England had to do with Johnny Foxborough, Tom Brady done there in Tampa.
Well, and to your point, like, how many more times can you do this before he's just like, all right, fuck this.
You go
I'm not doing this anymore.
You go from Favre to Rodgers. You just don't know what it's like to not have a fucking quarterback.
And you don't know what it's like to have a loser taking snaps for you. That's it does feel like there are some places that kind of get a little bit comfortable. You know what I mean? Get a little bit comfortable, and they see other teams that happen. They mock the other teams, but they don't realize, like, there's a couple things that could happen. That could be fucking us real quick. That's the NFL, though, by the way. They go over that entire 16-game era or whatever. They put out the graphic for the amount of winning percentage. Damn near everybody is at 50%, except for there's outliers that are low and then a couple people that are in the 60%. But it's hard to win. That's the entire thing. And the ebbs and flows of this thing seem to really come. Your team could suck, and all it takes is 1 to 2 big-time decisions being made, and all of a sudden you're rebuilding, retooling, trying to figure out how the fuck you won to begin with.
Yeah, what's the only other team is... Can you think of another place where you go from franchise quarterback to franchise quarterback other than Montana to Steve Young?
Peyton to Andrew. I think that was.
That is, you're right. That classifies, but then Andrew obviously retired a little bit early. But Andrew absolutely was in line with how it worked.
Carried the torch, though.
Yeah.
You know, he like kind of took it over, won 10 games. Like, this is what we do here in Indianapolis. And then now, you know, Phillip Rivers has been able to do it. Will Carson Wentz now potentially do that? There's a chance, yes. There's a hopeful yes. It feels like a lot of energy saying yes. There's a chance that done. And then what do? Then you have to try to figure it out. But it feels like we're potentially also hitting an era where there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks available at times. But with the Green Bay Packers not having an owner, how will you be able to really get into the dance for some of the biggest free agent quarterbacks? That'll be fascinating to watch.
In the way Tom Brady got back, like, to sit back and pick his team, like, say next year this does happen and Rodgers does get to just be able to pick. Imagine like the Browns where he has OBJ, Jarvis Landry, running backs. It's just like,
and if you win, by the way, in Cleveland, or if you win somewhere else, oh man, you're a hero forever. Not that you're not in Green Bay. I'm just saying there has been previous stories that have said there is fruit to be tasted on trees elsewhere by these people that are on the top of the world in the NFL. Hypothetical. These are all hypothetical.
Of course.
We're just saying, could happen though, and that's why you have to talk about it until this thing has some sort of answer. I don't like talking about it, but we have to talk about it until there's an answer, AJ.
But when you're talking about if you know, them not restructuring A-Rod is holding them up in free agency, it doesn't matter. It's too late now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're past a lot of the players or whatever, but also, by the way, shout out to Aaron Jones getting paid.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know what I mean? They did.
Awesome. Yeah.
And Ian Rappaport dropped that in there whenever free agency was asked about it. He was like, well, Aaron Jones just got paid a lot of money. It was like, Fair. True.
Yeah.
Fair. That actually did happen, but it's too late now. They could have, took the salary, turned it into a signing bonus, did some other things. They could have opened up space if they wanted to. And maybe this anonymous agent is just completely full of shit.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, could be true. Also possible. That's where we live in. And on the other side of this break, we're going to continue to live in that ocean.
Hell yeah.
We're going to continue to paddle. We're going to continue to try to figure it out and take some of your phone calls. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Monday, April 12th.
All right, so it's come to my attention that when I went on Pat McAfee's show on Friday, I offended some of you Jet fans because your organization has completely changed, and this time you're convinced that they're going to get it right. And so I unfairly accused you guys of not really knowing what you're doing when it comes to the draft. And I've got to be honest with you. Robert Saleh is one of my favorite people in the National Football League. I think the guy's an incredible coach. And I think he's a great leader of men. So I'm excited for Robert Saleh's tenure at the Jets. So I thought what I would do today to make it up to you Jet fans is, give you a little show and tell. Now this is actually the helmet I wore in the AFC Championship game and in the Super Bowl 33. So I thought I would share with you guys some Super Bowl rings and kind of the story of the championship games behind getting to these Super Bowls. So see if you can pick out the one where the Broncos beat the Jets, okay? No, it's not that one. That's Super Bowl 26, the Skins over the Buffalo Bills. In that NFC Championship, we beat the Detroit Lions. I mean, put a beat down on them. It was like 45-10 or something of that nature. I mean, I'm telling you, the sisters were kinder in Shawshank Redemption to Andy Dufresne than we were to the Lions that day. So that's not it. Now, this one is Super Bowl 32. That's really my favorite ring because the Broncos on that day were 11-point underdogs or 11.5-point underdogs to the Green Bay Packers. So in the AFC Championship, we beat Pittsburgh. We had to convert a 3rd down and 7 at the very end of the game to seal the victory, which we did. So it wasn't that one. You're right, Jets fans. That's the one right there in the middle. That's Super Bowl 33, and that's when the Jets were up on us 10-0 in the third quarter, and then we came back and opened a can of whoop ass to the tune of 23-0 in the third and fourth quarter to beat your asses. So there you go. That's the ring that we got after we beat you in the AFC Championship. All right, enjoy.
Here we go.
Boom!
Woo!
It's a knockdown at 6 seconds.
6, 7, 8.
He might be dead.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Come on. Come on.
Say it loud, ref. Ladies and gentlemen, with the match ending in the first round, your winner by technical knockout.
Thank you.
The red corner.
Woo! Fuck you, buddy. You too. We did it. We did it. Yeah. Listen. Am I the greatest Oculus boxer of all time? Possibly. But getting punched in the actual face is much different than the fake shit. So I'll continue to go in here, battle against these jabrones, and keep it moving. I am tired though, even though it was quick.
Give us a call at 888-MAD-DOG-6. Pat wants to hear from you. No, not really. He just ran out of things to talk about. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
That's a bingo. AJ, we talked more about your Masters experience during the break. You had to have the worst fucking day in Augusta history.
Oh, nut job. Hey, I think the worst day in Augusta is better than, a great day somewhere.
Okay. All right, Hawk.
Yeah, you're negative. I'm sure Nick's rubbing off on you, and you're a negative guy, but hey, I'm not. I choose to look at it. It was an opportunity for me.
You're right. Man, if I was in that situation, though, I don't know if I would have survived. I don't know how you did it. I
had no options. My ride said, all right, we're dropped off at 8:20. See you here at 5. What else? What do I do? And I was glad. I was happy that was the case. I wanted to have time there, but yeah, like I said, what am I gonna do? Walk around and pout the whole time?
Could you have been able to get your phone?
No, it was gone. In the car that dropped me off with my bag.
Oh my
Jeez.
God! Early mistake. Okay, I'm happy.
Where would I put it? I didn't.
You said they had lockers for him. Don't they have lockers for him or whatever?
There's a place I guess you can check it in somewhere by like the front gate. Yeah.
Anyways, welcome back.
Who would I have called? Hey, let me call Jordy. Oh wait, his phone is in the car too.
You're right. And I've heard it's out in the middle of nowhere too, kind of, huh?
Yeah.
Did you think
they have what's funny is they have like free payphones, they call them, like around the course that you could use. I'm like, okay, if I remember my old home line from my parents when I grew up, who am I going to call?
Hey, that happened to me when I got into jail. You know what I mean? They always talk about your phone call from jail, but at that point, whose number do I know? My dad's cell phone was the only thing I remembered at that point, because numbers, you don't remember anything these days. You don't remember saying, is it out in the middle of nowhere though?
I mean, not in the middle of nowhere, but I mean, it's the main attraction for sure.
Because John Daly sets up at the Hooters right out
Hooters,
front.
Danner Road.
Hooters. Did you see him, Donner?
No, I don't know. Was he there this year?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'll read this later.
Did you try yelling for Jordy at all?
No, it's frowned upon. They don't really like you to yell there too much.
You know what I found interesting though is there was places where people were walking in the back, like during that par 3. There's a par 3 where it just looks like 2 plots of land there out of nowhere. You know what I'm talking about? Then there's a little bit of water. Then there was a back walkway where some of the golfers would walk through while somebody was teeing off. I was fascinated at how, normally I'd assume, because it was limited to 3,200 people, you said, is that normally there's certain areas where people are and then you don't see all that stuff? Or, because we got to see a lot of the course, I think. There was a lot of like the green and the tee box, I feel like I've seen a similar setup on a course that I play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt like, I think the people almost hide a lot of I feel like we got to see behind the scenes at Augusta a little bit more this year than we had in the past. You more so than all of us, obviously.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the TV product looked like. I was there wandering around myself.
No big deal. No big deal. Let's get some phone calls, shall we? Let's go to Russ in Michigan. What's going on, Russ?
Hey, not too much. Shout out Pat. Shout out Hawk. Shout out all the boys.
Shout out.
Hey, so I got a question about WrestleMania weekend and Pat being the Wrestling Observer Rookie of the Year. Right. I saw a little segment with Randy Orton where he was really, really going hard on how great Bad Bunny was and how Bad Bunny came from outside of the business and how normally people that don't come from his world don't respect the business. And I wondered if you had any run-ins with Orton, if that was a shot at you. But, I mean, there's
Oh, you thought that was a shot at me? Whoa. I don't know if that was a shot at me from Randy Orton. I sure hope not. Never took it that way until you just said it. Should I have? Not going to, just because it's Randy Orton. The dude's 6'6", 200 some pounds, and has been wrestling for what seems to be 75 years at this point. Might be one of the toughest humans of all time who's been there, done that. I think what he was talking about is still the thing with Soulja Boy and the potential beefs and outsiders coming into the business and everything like that. I thought Bad Bunny absolutely crushed it. I absolutely loved his performance. I thought he obviously was very dedicated. He appreciated it. He respected the art of professional wrestling, which I think as a fan of professional wrestling, you appreciate the most, because back in the day when outsiders would come in, it was very obvious they are there to suck the teat of the WWE to promote whatever the fuck bullshit thing they had going on. They didn't give a damn about the actual show. Whenever you get people in there that are actual fans, understand it a little bit, understand why it works, how it works, which Bad Bunny clearly does, it has created some incredible performances. I think what Shaq did was awesome. I don't know how he didn't break his shit. He was also very, very entertaining in the ring. I think he bought into it. And I thought what Bad Bunny did was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And he uses it in the proper fashion, by the way, which I always wondered why the celebrities of the past didn't buy in. If you buy in, it's much better marketing for whatever bullshit you're pushing. And whenever you come in, drop in, I am the host, I have this book that nobody gives a fuck about. All right, see you later. Nobody's going to watch that, but you buy in, you earn the fans, and then hopefully they'll follow you. Him launching the tour right off the back of it was genius, and I'm a Bad Bunny fan now.
How did this come about? Like, I don't know enough about Bad, but has he always been like talking about wrestling and trying to get in here?
I'm going to be very transparent here. My knowledge on San Benito is very limited to what I've learned here over the last couple months. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan. Hey, listen, I am a fan of his, especially after what he did at WrestleMania. I thought he was fucking awesome, but I need to do a little bit more research on the Bad Bunny because I think there's a lot of good shit to learn, especially after his performance at WrestleMania.
You think Logan Paul might get back in the ring and actually wrestle?
Hey, he got stunned. He did not deserve that.
No, he didn't.
Logan Paul was dragged into a situation he did not deserve to get dragged. Two friends turning against each other. These guys have been friends for decades at this point. Logan Paul, out of respect for everything going on, says, "Yeah, I'll come and check it out."
Sure.
Gets stunned right in the mouth.
Despicable.
Unbelievable.
What's the story there with Logan Paul? I feel like that's a random one to throw in there.
Well, no, there was a documentary happening, a vlog series around Sami Zayn and the conspiracy from the WWE against Sami Zayn to hold him back, to not allow him to succeed. In said vlog documentary was noticed by Logan Paul, who is a fan, obviously the biggest vlog, one of the biggest vlogs, biggest documentary guys of all time. He gets him brought in to be a judge of Sami Zayn's documentary trailer that he debuted, Red Carpet Affair. Then all of a sudden Logan Paul is involved because he gives a sign of approval, or he says it's all a scam, which is what he did basically on Kevin Owens' side. And then Kevin Owens, how's he thank him in the whole thing? Stuns his neck through the goddamn ring. I mean, it's just, Logan Paul did not deserve what happened.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him involved. I didn't know if he was pubbing something or what's going on. Like, how do the wrestling fans feel about like when Logan Paul gets thrown in? Or I'm sure they respect Bad Bunny because he did some unexpected things, right?
So the thing about Logan Paul, okay, is at least he understood the fans of WWE. Let me tell you why. The way they had it go, okay, match ends. Sami Zayn, bad guy, loses. He's that whole thing. Logan pushes him actually after the match. Ooh. He falls out of the ring. Okay, he lifts Kevin Owens' hand, babyface, celebration to the crowd. The crowd boos.
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Crowd boos Logan Paul and the guy that they were just cheering for because Logan Paul is involved. Boo, boo, boo. See you later. Stunner to end the whole thing. So I think the Logan Paul understood what was going to happen, and Kevin Owens obviously reacted to what happened there, but I think they knew what was going to happen in there. Yeah.
So I know there were some rain delays right on Saturday night. Did they end up getting everything in, or did it run till like 2 a.m?
No, they got everything in. It did run late both nights, but I thought it was much better than the 1 day, 17-hour thing. I think it was pretty good digested. But yeah, the Vince McMahon God conversation went well both nights. Yeah. a definite storm. Just dispersed somehow. Now, there was one casualty. There was one slip and fall because of the rain down there in Tampa Bay. Mandy fell on her way in, became a GIF, trended worldwide immediately upon happening. But aside from that, didn't really pop off that much, aside from me learning that, they call them the Tampa Bay Lightning or whatever. I guess they legitimately are like the light, like
a lot of lightning down there.
For whatever the science experiment of that latitude and longitude, the science experiment there, I guess the lightning is fucking real down there. I guess.
Damn.
That's what people were saying on the internet. I have no idea if that's real or not, but I was like, oh, that's why they're the lightning. It must have. I thought they were electrifying, but no. It's actually, there's just
lightning all the
powerful
time.
fucking lightning around.
Lightning.
We're gonna have to check some stats on that. And that didn't, by the way, that didn't stop the WrestleMania either.
But is that specific to Tampa Bay or just the whole state of Florida? We know there's pop-up thunderstorms all the time down there.
Yeah, it comes and goes, doesn't it, down there?
Mm-hmm. Those afternoon storms.
Comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, probably time for a nap, I guess. Clouds just said take a nap. I'm going to wake up on the other side, and it's going to be, 200 degrees.
Unbelievable.
Here we go. Let's get to it. Let's get to another phone call, shall we? Let's go to Ryan. No, we just talked about Bad Bunny, actually. Ryan, sorry, we covered it right there. We thought he was dope. I thought he was awesome.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Hey, thank you, Ryan.
Shout out to Pat and the boys, though. Gotta stop being so modest, Pat.
Okay, sounds good, Ryan. We appreciate you, though. The podcast, The Best Wrestling Show, period, comes out of this office with Mansouri and Madden. I hope you listen to that. I think I'm going to make some appearances on there in the near future as well. Ryan, shout out to you. Hey, WrestleMania, I assume big hit. What was it? Will they ever get the numbers, and will we ever know the numbers? Felt like a lot of people were invested in WrestleMania this weekend.
Yeah, it's crushing. I watched on Peacock TV, and it went off without a hitch. I thought it was awesome.
Me too. There was a couple of glitches, I thought, and everything like that. But other than that, I thought it went really well. You missed it, AJ, because you were down there getting yourself ready to walk aimlessly around the greenest grass of all time.
Yeah, you're right. So did you just have to have Peacock to watch this?
Yeah, but I think there's two Peacocks. Okay, there's Peacock Premium, which with the word premium, you think, oh, this is the good one.
Best one.
Sure.
Turns out it isn't. It's Peacock Premium, then there's like an up or something like that down here.
What?
You got to pay another $4.99. That's the premium one.
The no commercial one?
What's that?
Is that the no commercial one?
Yeah, that's the premium one. The shows will still go to dark, and then they come out at dark, though, as if there was supposed to be a commercial. It's kind of
interesting.
Huh, that doesn't...
That's
Gotta
weird.
figure that out. I thought I was
Very
paying.
Yeah.
Blink, you're telling me.
Figure that out.
Blink.
If you were a member or if you subscribed to the WWE Network, did that carry into Peacock or
no?
So okay, so I'm probably still just getting charged for that, even though it's non-existent. I need to fucking move over to Peacock.
Every month.
There's a lot of good stuff on there, though.
Where, on Peacock?
Yeah, like on the WWE part.
I think so. There's a lot of stuff over there. Now,
awesome.
the transition.
Gacy.
What's that?
The Gacy. I downloaded and watched the Gacy docuseries on the way to and from.
Well, I was about to say, Peacock has taken a lot of my time as of late with WrestleMania and with the John Wayne Gacy. So
Rock?
No, I watch it on Tuesday nights live.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Wait, you're still going to watch?
Yeah, because there's no way last week's episode will become a trend for this show. It was an anomaly.
That's right. You said last week's episode was the worst half-hour television of all time, right?
It was like 22 minutes of actual television. It was bad. Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
To the Hall of Fame, though. He didn't want to take away from
the Hall of Fame, which was WWE, which was happening at the exact same time. So
good theory.
I'm watching live Tuesday nights at 8. Okay. Anyways, I've been on Peacock a lot lately, and I was almost like happy for him.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not easy to become a new platform with a couple good strategic purposes and releases of things. You can garner some attention. Now you're going to have to keep going or whatever. That's why Netflix is so impressive. They were able to keep people, just the depth of shit that they had. I think they went into massive debt just acquiring everything, and then it kind of all came back around. So Peacock's crushing it, though. And that John Wayne Gacy thing, I had not heard of it before. I haven't finished it yet, but man, it is getting ridiculous out there.
It's pretty good. I think it's like 6 parts. It probably could have been a few shorter. But yeah, I knew of John Wayne Gacy. I had no idea he was allegedly burying bodies under his house.
It could have been anybody. Could have been anybody.
Left the door unlocked.
You're right. He gave 12 keys out, right?
That's what he said. Yeah, it could have been a number of people.
Not me.
I did bury one of them, but that was self-defense. The other 28 could have been anybody.
Anybody.
That fucking guy was walking around this world like we do now.
Yeah.
Just, hey.
How you doing?
Let me put some clown face on.
Iowa was empowering that that. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, we've done this fucking song and dance before, pal.
I would like to let you know that
we're at home.
I would like to let you know that Iowans are not appreciative of what you've been doing with this.
Oh, they are? Well, I wasn't appreciative of them letting him go. Okay?
Oh, okay.
That's on you, Iowa.
Okay. Let's go to Robert in Massachusetts. Here we go. Robert in Massachusetts. You let Connor out of the state. What do you want to
How you boys doing?
Hey, not too shabby. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. You guys are the fucking best. And I want to apologize because my question's a little late, but when you talked about it, I was in the hospital with the wife with the birth of my child. So.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, what's the name?
So, Noella.
Noella.
Noella Catherine.
Well, congratulations on Noella. We thought there was a chance maybe a little doobie would have been born there.
Doober-doo.
Oh, doobie-doo. Doobie-doo. Anyways, maybe next time, Robert. What do you want to talk about?
Well, you guys were talking about how you would buy an NFL franchise.
40 years out or so, yeah.
And I was just curious, hypothetically, if you were ready and there were two franchises you could buy, would you rather buy one that was stacked and ready to win now,
Yes.
or would you rather buy one that's a rebuild and make your own legacy?
No, well, I appreciate that, and I assume there is somebody that would like to rebuild their own legacy, but I'm okay with my legacy starting good. Let me get that thing now. I don't know how everybody else feels. You could see how you would want to put your own spin on everything, but if you can get a team ready to win, that's going to be expensive, but that would be fantastic. And why is the owner selling at this point now that they're good? A lot of questions would be asked, but I think that's where I'm headed, AJ.
Yeah, I would buy the Dallas Cowboys. Don't they bring in the most money every year?
Yeah, but also winning, like,
Yeah.
Cowboys fans did not deserve that. Okay. Hey, we talked earlier, Hard Knocks, if they go to the Cowboys, cannot wait to see Big Mike and Jerry Jones. Cannot wait.
So they're one of the finalists, or however many people can?
Yeah, it's Panthers, Cowboys, Cardinals, Broncos.
It has to be the Cowboys then.
Well, J.J. Watt.
Yeah, come on, dude.
I forgot. Okay, you're right. Arizona would be very intriguing as well. You're
DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, Buda Baker. I mean, they
Giants are the other two.
Giants. Stay out
Football
there.
Giants.
Big Dan Jones.
Stay out there.
If Judge is going to be recovering fumbles every episode, then
Yeah, I get it. But we got Jared down there and Big Mike. I assume he's going to be doing some cover stuff. You know what I mean? What's Big Mike like during training camp?
I mean, he's very intense. I don't think he would. Just from my time with Mike, I don't know if he would love having to do like sit down interviews throughout the day during training camp.
Come on,
he has enough to worry about.
Come on,
I think it would make for some great what do they call them, like confessionals, like they do in the real world. Like if he's sitting in the dark room with a bright light, just listen to him like tell stories about the day. I think would be very fun.
Yeah, we're trying to get the best players on the team. What do you want? I mean, Ian's got your cameras around. I mean,
But haven't they changed that so it's like just the small cameras that like, and they actually do forget that there are cameras in there for some of the stuff?
it's like Big Brother or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you ever get comfortable? I don't know. That'd be because that's like that's like an experiment as well. You just forget about them being there, I guess.
Everyone, don't you hear people that like film reality shows are like, well, after the first week, it's almost like we forgot they were there. I'm like, no, they're, especially when it's the shows where they're coming with them and you're sitting at a restaurant and you have to have like special lighting and the whole place is looking at you. I was like, just that alone would be so awful.
AQ Shipley and I were at a bar. I forget how many years. We're at a bar in Florida. I think it was either Tampa or Fort Lauderdale or Miami. I forget where it was. We're sitting at a bar. We're hanging out, having a good time. We just got done golfing or whatever. We're just kind of wrapping up the day. It was in the hotel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just sitting there, and all of a sudden, the door opens. 5 lighting people come in, okay, 2 camera people in front, and then an entire family comes in and rents out the VIP areas. But this was a small place, so it was literally right behind us. They were the Kardashian family of France, I think they said, or whatever, or some other place. It was hilarious. We were like, so we have to leave now, right? They're like, no, stay, please stay. We're like, no, we are not going to be on. It takes over your entire life becomes that reality show, though. You're the Hard Knocks, though. There's some players that have loved it. There's been some players that have hated it, and I've heard a lot more hate than love there. But as a fan, I love the show.
Yeah, it'll continue because it is. It's fun to see like what's going on because they have all those little cameras in the meeting rooms. That's when coaches, I can definitely understand when they have moments where they forget that there are cameras there because they can't see anything, and it's just like, hey, I got to coach my dudes up.
Think about a coach going, oh, fuck, I'm going to have to explain why I said that to that particular player. Now, everybody heard what I just said about that. There's a lot of trust, I'd assume, between the team and the
staff meetings are what's very interesting to me. Like when they're talking about player transactions and where guys are, and then that player watches that episode 3 days after that happens.
Yeah, and then, sometimes in the NFL, some things can be said behind closed doors, and I assume they don't make it out of there. And then now with Hard Knocks, it's like, Oh, fuck you, huh?
Oh, really?
No, here. Is that how this whole thing goes? I love watching it as a fan. I think I would have enjoyed it if it was at the Colts training camp or whatever, obviously.
Yeah.
But I would not have. I don't think I would have enjoyed it for our team, like for the good of our team. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's for the good of your team. I think it actually is the opposite, actually.
Let's send some for the brand gear to those 5 teams so we can get back on there like last year.
Yeah, us making an appearance in that one was pretty cool.
JJ, get him geared up for the HBO if it is
Boy's
in
gotta
Arizona.
push his stuff.
What's that?
What?
Hey, his stuff's better than ours.
I don't know.
Whoa.
I mean, his shoe. We don't have shoes, dude. He's got shoes.
He's got a shoe line. Oh, yeah.
Jake has got shoes.
Whoa.
No, I don't think I could. I tried. I gave Hoka a call. I gave Hoka a call. Can't do it. Let's go to Jacob in Nebraska. What's going on, Jacob?
Hey, no much, Pat. What's going on, man?
Hey, just hanging out, pal. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me a second, man. I had to run out of fucking class. Hey,
what?
Hey, so, like,
Hold on. A lot of questions. What class did we just run out of? How old are we?
I'm 18, man. I ran an animal biology, cuzzo.
No. Is this high school?
Yeah, man.
Oh, you're a great student. I mean,
you know it, man.
Yeah, I'm excited that this just happened. What world is happening where you can just get up? Excuse me.
Hey, gotta take a call.
How does that work? That is awesome. Good for you, Jacob. You must have a lot of pool around those halls. What do you want to talk about?
All right, so obviously
in the
the
hallway.
Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, dude, I'm in the hallway. But the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Can you yell a few times?
Has he been on hold for like
AJ
3
Hawk,
classes
I honestly
too?
can't.
Yeah, there's a chance. Yeah. Sorry, what do you want to talk? Let's get you back to class. What do you want to talk about? Jeez.
All right, so the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, you got Big Ben Roethlisberger, man. He's on the twilight of his career. You're going into the 2021 draft, and you have a lot of options. I mean, I have a few options for them. Either they're picking Najee Harris, maybe if Justin Fields he gets going down, maybe Lance goes over him.
Wow.
Maybe Mac Jones goes over him. Maybe they get him. Maybe they go O-line. What do the Pittsburgh Steelers do in the 2021 draft?
Jacob, hey, get back to animal biology, all right? Do you hear me? What do you guys learn?
Man.
What do you guys learn about today? Like the difference between huff and paw?
Hey, fuck all, man. I'm just, man.
Fuck all. This guy's not learning shit.
Jacob.
I've been on hold for 2 hours, man. I've been through 3 classes. At this point, man, I just
Jacob,
like
listen,
it was.
Jacob, high school is a test of whether or not you can do or you cannot do. You have to get through this thing. You know that. It feels like you
Hey,
potentially.
man, I graduate in like a month, cuzzo, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm out of
All right,
here.
locked in. All right, congratulations, Jacob. Congrats, grad. Congrats.
Sure, he's graduating.
Maybe. We are a terrible influence and a bad show. So don't do that if you're in high school right now. You guys should stop watching and listening.
Well, the fact that he was able to have his phone out on hold for 2 hours through 3 classes, and then he's available right when he comes off hold, was pretty amazing.
I mean, think about TJ earlier from Washington. He's nowhere near a high school class.
No.
He was on hold for 22 minutes. Answer, TJ, nothing. If people come on muted or whatever, he was in animal biology. That chair and desk went flying. Yeah, shut it.
Gotta take it down.
I'm out.
Shut it. Hey, yeah, what up, cuzzo? Could you imagine in the middle of high school just having the gall to do that would be so awesome. That'd be so awesome to have that ability. That kid's going places.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you, Jacob.
Shut.
Hold on.
I got a dog. I know. Where do you go?
Steelers.
What?
Bro, who knows what they're going to do? Mike Tomlin is at the Ohio State workout. There's an incredible clip, actually, of Mike Tomlin talking to Justin Fields as Justin Fields is either going to work out or warm up or something like that. Can we run that clip? Do we think we can run it? Maybe not. Probably not. Mike Tomlin basically tells Justin Fields, you know why we're here? Go ahead and give it to me or something like that. Or some sort of like, go ahead and show. Like him, Mike Tomlin is awesome. All right, I just want to let everybody know that Mike Tomlin put me through my pro day workout at West Virginia. If it wasn't for Mike Tomlin, I'm not sure all of the scouts would have came out to where I was kicking from the indoor facility where Pat White, Steve Slayton, and everybody was working out. I did not get invited to the combine. Mike Tomlin was pretty pivotal for me making it into the NFL, and I'm very grateful. But that moment, looking at him chat with Justin Fields as he's getting ready for the workout, I think is why Mike Tomlin is beloved by basically while I was doing a workout, while I was doing my kicking workout, he was like talking shit to me. We were bantering back and forth. It felt like he was saying things louder so people could hear what I was potentially doing. He is just like classic guy you want to play for. And I love the fact that he let Justin Fields know, like even stating the obvious, like, hey man, y'all know what, hey Justin, I don't know if you know this or not. All these motherfuckers are here to watch you throw. Good luck out there. You know? Like that's basically what Tomlin was like, and I appreciate it so much.
I appreciate how he is. And when I talk to anybody that has played for him, I always ask them, like, what's Tomlin like? And they all seem to love him. And they're like, hey, man, he leaves you. If you do your job, if you're a pro, like he's has that old school mentality. Like, we're going to grind, we're going to work hard, and he's not going to mess around. Like, he doesn't really care about all the periphery and what's going on as long as you're taking care of business on the field and the locker room's all right.
He gave a speech at the after the draft. You go to the
rookie symposium.
Rookie symposium. He gave a speech, and he was like, he gave this like 5-10 minute speech about everything, you know. And then at the end, he said, basically, it all comes down to this: don't be that guy. Okay, just don't be that guy. And then he just walked off. And he was like, you know what that means? Everybody knows what that means. Don't be that guy. Just don't be that guy. I was that guy one time. They gave me another chance. Thankful for that. AJ, we're about to sign off here on Sirius XM. Anything to say to the people before Mad Dog Unleashed?
No, I think I'm doing all right today. I think you have something.
Had a lot of time to think about it yesterday. Apparently there was nothing. Chris Mad Dog Rookie show would be better than ours. We'll be back manana. See you then. I'm up to something. It's a good sign off, dude.
Yeah.
I am entrenched in something right now.
Okay.
Up to it.
What does it have to do with?
It's big.
Huge.
Massive.
It's been tough, actually, kind of, because not a lot of... Excuse me, this is actually one of our sign-ins here. Jay, can you put sound? This is one of our sign-ins here. Ready?
Air conditioners, coffee makers, and cigarettes all have filters. But Pat McAfee does not. You're listening to The Pat McAfee Show.
This lady knows.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been very difficult to do this, but in the next few weeks here, a couple weeks, something rather big is happening. It has been tough to not just be like,
had to mentally forget about it.
Had to, legitimately. And then somebody will tweet me something, like talking shit, and I'll like look at it and I'll be like, man, I could just fucking right now.
Oh yeah.
But nope, not going to.
You're mature.
I am mature. But it's been pretty close here. And I think as we go forward here over the next week or two, I think it's going to get even closer and closer and closer. We are doing a giveaway, though, by the way.
We are.
Yeah, I know that. No, for the next couple days here, there might be some clues that are being hinted at.
Okay.
And then I believe maybe next week we'll start, like a, hey, do this. You could potentially win money with the best guess or whatever.
Okay.
And then maybe we'll announce it the week after that or whatever.
All right.
Foxy giving away another Scotty Cameron.
No,
nice.
I think it's going to be pretty big.
Really?
Bigger than a Scotty Cameron?
Yeah, bigger than Scotty Cameron. Now, Scotty Cameron, listen, Foxy ended up giving away a bunch of those, and it's going to affect his bank account.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with how he fucking gambles. Even though he got hot on Matsuyama, congratulations on taking that win.
Thank you.
Foxy is maybe hot right now, but we'll give away, I think, 5 to 10 grand probably. That's still we got to get through
down the road here.
There's going to be some potential leaks of information because I cannot just, It's been so hard not to be like that. So think about
How you feel about this?
AJ, it's been tough, dude.
What if I were to tell you?
It'd be a lot easier if I was just roaming around grass with no cell phone or no friends.
Yeah.
Just not have to tell anybody anything. You know what I mean, AJ?
I think that would have been a very good experience for you to be placed into the shoes I was in yesterday.
Just kind of you and your thoughts right there. 17th hole. I just tried it. It stinks.
Brutal.
That was tough, dude.
Can never do it.
I don't think I could do that. That's like in the accepted South Harmon Institute of Technology.
Oh, yeah.
You know how that one kid's trying to learn how to meditate or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what I would have been like yesterday with that whole thing. Like, all right, I know nobody. I can't talk to anybody about this, but I have some thoughts. Can we not share thoughts with anybody? And I can't even see what's going on in the world right now.
Son of a
My
bitch.
God. What am I doing here?
It was all right. I got back in the car and turned my phone on, and the world, was still there. Everything was still okay.
Then you sat down with the Langer and figured it out. Mm-hmm. Sat down with the Langer.
Not with what would have been, I think, somewhat embarrassing. There was obviously other people that were at the course sitting next to Bernhard. He's sitting there watching the Masters on TV. I believe he missed the cut, and some guy recognizes that he'd been sitting next to him for 10 minutes, and he just starts yelling like, "Bernhard, I watched you on Friday, man. You bombed that 128. It was unbelievable. You're still amazing, man. I'm still a huge fan." I was like, "Man, Bernhard, this would not be good." Bernhard's like, "Oh, thank you. Yes, farthest I can hit the ball." Like self-deprecating, and the guy just kept going. I'm like, "You got to stop, buddy."
That guy was intoxicated, probably.
I hope so, but honestly, I don't think he was.
Imagine what he would be like if he was drunk. Imagine that guy. That's
he would have slobbered all over him.
Hey, there's some people though that have no turn down on that type of stuff. I'm not saying for me ever, but I'm just talking about for the humans I've been around that potentially garner that type of. There's some people that just lose their goddamn minds whenever they're around people, and I'm like, whoa, how did you get? Have you always? When did this happen?
Is this your dream?
Is this it?
To do this?
It's pretty cool to watch. I'm like, man, that's got to feel pretty good that you make a human act like that or whatever. Yeah. But then on the flip side, you probably can't really do much of anything in your entire life.
Nope.
That must suck bad to be a part of. All right, I'm out of here, I think.
So do you have new clubs yet?
So I thought about giving up the game for a couple of years.
No. What? Why? After watching the Masters?
Yeah. So that's why.
Because of how unbelievable they...
Out of respect for the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to hang up the bag for at least a year or two. I've decided that I will come back to golf at some point, and I'm going to try to go professional.
Okay.
But I would like to have the time to do so. Golf is a hard game.
Yeah. Very hard.
I mean,
it's just a battle.
The entire, and it's long.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
It's a marathon.
Soccer's 90 minutes, and people say too fucking long. Mm-hmm. Golf is a 5-hour battle with a tiny little ball with a low success rate, and you got to commit to it on a regular basis. And I don't know if I got the time to respect the game enough to work on it.
Not all of us have time like Brown,
Oh, yeah, we got somebody we know plays 36 holes every 2 days.
Yeah, sometimes one day.
But by the way, I respect the fact that he's respecting the game to do so.
Yeah, exactly.
He's putting in the work.
Yeah, he's putting in the work. I'm not able to do that. I disrespect the game. Like, I am so bad at fucking golf compared to those people.
But out of your respect now, you are respecting the game.
See?
By putting the game down.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. The amount of respect being shown for the gentleman's game here, hopefully, is at an all-time high because I respect the game so much. Disrespect it would be catastrophic in my eyes.
The golf gods will remember that.
That's right.
So when I put that bag back on my back and those clubs back in my hand,
it's probably going to be tomorrow.
Maybe not.
But even then, the golf gods,
maybe not.
They'll look down on you.
They remembered.
That's the guy that respects you.
Thank you, Pat.
But also, if you're only playing 9 holes, the golf gods are saying, "Hey, he's still respecting the game. He's not gonna play 18 and just dick around. He's playing 9 holes.
Who can fucking do it? By the way, there's people out
18?
there. There's people that do it multiple times a week. How? How do they do it? I am so impressed by that.
Yeah, I don't. That's the reason I don't really play much golf is because it does take so much time. And every year I'm like, okay, I'm going to play 9 holes more because that's doable and you can still have a day. But that hasn't happened in a couple of years. I don't know if I've ever played just 9 holes though. Now that I think about it.
But we tried to play 9 holes the other day. We played 8. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'm like, I got to get out of here, dude.
So if you're playing bad, you just pack it in.
I mean, if I try to make a turnaround, a little mental joust or whatever, but then I mean, I'll hit a good shot, and I don't have that feeling anymore where it's like, okay, I'll come back for that shot, like because I feel like I've played golf good enough where I'm gonna need a few of those to really give me to chase the dragon of the feeling of coming back. I'm gonna need a few of those, and then when those don't happen, I'm like, all right, what the fuck are we even? Next golf season sounds like maybe it'll be a lot better than this particular one. We'll get back out there, but those it takes forever. There's people that just play all the time. That's when I would like to pursue golf.
Yeah.
10 years or so.
When you have the time.
When I have the time. 10 years or so. So I'm putting the bag down. It's a shame. I will still watch and admire what's going on, but I got to put it down. Let's go to Thomas in Virginia. What's going on, Thomas?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah.
You can?
I love the show. The show stinks.
Thank you.
Want to talk about the Eagles. Our head coach, our owner, our Howie Roseman.
You got the equation.
The report that came out today that who knows what the hell was being said about Doug Peterson. And then Zach Ertz, if he gets traded,
when?
I would love to see him go to the Colts.
Oh, I would love that as well. Everybody would like to see every ex-Eagle back with Frank Reich, but if it works with Carson, fuck it, give them all back. Zach Ertz and the Eagles, they were allegedly almost in fisticuffs before a game because the trade thing didn't happen. Who knows if that was true or not when it was reported. I don't think we ever really got an answer on that whole thing. The trade was imminent and then it didn't happen. Let's assume his days are potentially done out there in Philadelphia. Ian Rappaport told us, though, that Laurie's a guy who wants to hear about every trade. He wants to be in on every action. Not every GM's like that. The thing about Doug Peterson basically getting chewed out, I guess, for his decision-making or something, that was a report that came out today, right? What was the decision? Did you see this article, AJ?
I have not seen it.
Okay, so Philadelphia Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie and general manager Howie Roseman ridiculed and criticized every decision former head coach Doug Peterson made. A source told Sheil Kapadia, Bo Wolf, and Zach Berman of The Athletic. So one source told all three of these motherfuckers? This person wants information out bad. Yeah. The former Eagles head coach was brought in for weekly meetings. During those sessions, the Eagles' top lieutenants criticized his in-game decisions, and the outcome of the previous contest didn't matter. Peterson was treated like a baby, a source told The Athletic. If you won by 3, it wasn't enough. If you lost by a last-second field goal, you're the worst coach in history. The Athletic source said. Okay, so let's assume who would be leaking this information. We don't have to state it, but we all pretty much understand here, maybe clearing a picture up a little bit, because the initial thought was Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz was the issue. Then we talked to Carson Wentz, and he's like, no, listen, I'll talk to Doug Peterson again. It's not like that isn't a real thing. And then when Doug Peterson gets fired, we thought it was because Carson Wentz was what the organization wanted, but the organization drafted Jalen Hurts, so why they do that? They trade Carson Wentz. They say Jalen Hurts is our guy. Now what the fuck are they doing? It seems like potentially behind the scenes it is a shit show, and both Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz hated what was going on over there. Now, Carson didn't tell us. Doug Peterson didn't tell us. But from the stories we're hearing and potentially learning about now, that place might be a full dumpster fire over there.
Well, I want to know when did this go bad? I mean, Doug Peterson, he still has the statue, right, with Foles out there. When did the relationship turn bad to where they're micromanaging every move he makes?
I think it was Michael Lombardi that told us that some of these coaches get hired, they're young. These young, I think it was Michael Lombardi. I'm not 100% sure.
So they can control him then, you mean?
Bingo. So they hire him, and the coach gets the head coaching job, and they want the head coaching job, even though they understand, like, hey, a lot of the decisions that some coaches might be involved in, I'm not going to be involved in because I'm younger, and I want to. I'm not saying every younger coach, but there's been situations that have been laid out where basically the head coach comes in, your job is to coach and shut up, basically. Now, you just coach the team, you do what you got to do. You're young, you got a head coaching opportunity here. We'll control everything else. And also, that involves, I think, in some places, game strategy and things like that. I mean, there's depends on levels of that thing. And it feels like Doug Peterson was potentially one of those hires. Then Doug Peterson coaches a team with a backup quarterback to a Super Bowl, and I assume Doug Peterson goes like, hey, listen, I feel like there should be a little bit more say in what's going on. And I think from reading this and hearing this, the powers that be don't want to do that. It's still like, nah, you're still the guy. This is the same type of thing that was allegedly happening in Green Bay when LaFleur wanted a player, and it was like, no, he's a young. I'm not saying that this is guaranteed information. We're just saying this is kind of what has been speculated all along. It feels like that was what this thing is referring to with the Doug Peterson Philadelphia Eagles situation.
Well, I know when McCarthy was hired in Green Bay, people said that. They said, oh, Ted Thompson hired him because he's a first-time head coach, and you can kind of still have the kind of power you want over him, and they were able to make it work for a long time. So it can absolutely work. I guess the question, if you're a GM, you're an owner, do you want to bring in like a big time old school guy with a big name like a John Gruden who's going to want a bunch of power, or do you want maybe a younger guy where it's going to be more of like a collaborative effort?
Well, I think true alphas know when to succeed.
That's right.
That's true.
So like Doug Peterson, once he gets to the point where he wins the Super Bowl and everything, but their take would be, yeah, we won a Super Bowl doing it this way. Why would we change it? That would be their entire take or their stance or whatever. But Doug Peterson probably like, yeah, but we're at a much different time now. I'm pretty much here. Yeah. You could see how if they are stubborn in their decision of, no, we run everything, it had success in the past, and Doug Peterson doesn't want that, where that could potentially blow up. But I don't know. I don't know which you would prefer. You would prefer to have a working relationship with everybody, I think. I think if you're the owner, you would like to have a working relationship with the general manager and the head coach. If you're the general manager, you, in return, would like to have a working relationship with the owner and the head coach. And the head coach, like, I don't know how my relationship might be with the owner of this whole thing, but I know me and the GM have to be tight as well. Like, I think those are very, very vital relationships that have to be maintained. But then as soon as those kind of, disagreements start to get public and everything, it's like, how do they bring it back together? Like, for instance, the Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll thing, Brandon Marshall reported, and Brandon Marshall has friends everywhere, been around the NFL a long time, that the Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll situation has been revolved. They're going to be stronger, actually, on the other side of this because they had a public disagreement. They kind of fought. They figured it out. Now they're on the other side of it. That's good. Warren Moon has come out and said, he sees that thing going ugly, basically. Yeah. Warren Moon's obviously been around. He's a two-time Hall of Famer in the CFL and in the NFL. I think that the marriage is not going to end very well going down the road. I think this squabble is going to turn into more of a separation and then a divorce at some point, says Warren Moon on the NFL Huddle in Flow with Jim Trotter and Steve Weich discussing the fate of the Seattle quarterback, Russell Wilson. So, great graphic, by the way. Shout out, Dirty. The thought of that whole thing is, I think Warren Moon feels the same way as us, that there had to be something that happened. There had to be something that happened. Now, Brandon Marshall's saying they're past it, and I hope they are, and I hope they have success. But what happens if it isn't? How strong's the relationship? I assume it's very strong now, but it just feels like in this game, head coach, quarterback, two very important pieces of this thing. Hopefully they'll be able to get along.
But if you listen to anyone that talks about contracts and looks at everything, they'll tell you, yeah, Russell's going to be on the team this year, but then they're probably going to move on. Like if they end up moving on, it's going to be after this season. And is it because how his contract is laid out? They don't have as big a cap hit, or what? Do we know why people are saying that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is because the contract, and then there's a $39 million or $26 million. $26 million, I think. I think it's $26 million hit or whatever, regardless if he's on the team or not. So everybody's saying that's not going to happen, but hopefully they'll be able to figure it out. Hopefully they'll be able to be good again. Hate seeing, people fight, but it happens because these are humans and not just video games. Another thing we have to talk about, especially because we have an Ohio State legend on right now.
Oh, yeah.
Another Ohio State legend, NFL baller. Eddie George is now the head coach of Tennessee State. Congratulations. We've had Eddie on the show a couple times. Every time I talk to him, I enjoy the hell out of it. I think he was in investing at one point. They said he has a landscaping business. He's an actor. He is a very successful individual, not only on the football field, but obviously post his NFL career. I'm excited more players are getting back into the coaching game. I enjoy the fact that he's going to Tennessee State. I hope he does well. It's going to be a lot of fucking work, though. I mean, coaching is a different commitment,
Did I get a darn Schefter, or I read somewhere where they said he wants to hire Hugh Jackson as his OC?
Hugh Jackson and also
Ray Lewis. Ray.
No.
Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher's son to be his D coordinator.
Oh, I thought he said actual Jeff Fisher. I thought Jeff Fisher was actually coming back to do it, but whatever, yeah. Putting a good coaching staff together down there. I hope they do well. That's a lot of work, though. Deion Sanders obviously goes to Jackson State. They're 3-3 currently. Great success, turning around. Recruiting's going well. More eyes, more attention, more money on not just Jackson State, but HBCUs as a whole. Tennessee State with Eddie George. Let's hope the same thing happens there. I really like when players reinvest in the game. I really like when ex-players have success. And I feel like this is obviously a great way to do both of those things.
Jeff Fisher was brought on board in an advisory role for the hirings.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, so Jeff Fisher was like, hey, you know who I'd hire right now?
Eddie George.
Fucking
man.
Eddie George.
Get him, man. Eddie George.
Hugh Jackson is George's top target.
I want fishing with him. That's awesome. Good for Eddie George. I'm happy for him. You think he's going to be a good coach? You probably know him a lot better than I do with that whole OHIO thing you got going on.
I mean, I know him, and he's a nice guy. I watched him perform in a musical 3 or 4 years ago. Tim Mastay came in town, and we went and watched it.
He was good, right?
Yeah, he's great. He's a giant, obviously, compared to all the other stage actors too. And Eddie's singing, dancing, like he's a I don't even call him triple threat. He's got more than 3 things he can do.
Heisman winner, obviously, numbers retired all over the place. He is good for him getting back in the game. Let's answer another call here. Mac in Indianapolis, what's going on, bub?
Hey, Jack.
Uh-oh. Oh, this is another class.
Hey, Pat, I'm sorry. How you doing, bub?
Hey, not too shabby. How are you? Hope everything's going on all right back there.
Hey, that's going on. I'm sorry, my son was a little out of control. How are you and the boys and AJ doing?
Hey, not too shabby. What's going on with the son? Let's go ahead and get him back under control.
I just got a couple questions.
Let's get a binky back.
How you doing? Keep moving. One, I hear Errol Hawani always talking about how AJ has never accomplished nothing and jokes about him smoking cigars. Maybe AJ's put on a Super Bowl ring and a college championship ring.
Yeah.
As he's smoking them stogies.
And doing Mark Schlereth.
How about that? Yeah. Doing Mark Schlereth, exactly. And another thing I want to ask you real quick is I want to know how you knew how much power to punt the ball from like the 20 to the back. Like, how do you know how hard to hit it?
Great question, Mac. And I ask golfers the same question. And they've never been able to explain it to me. I'll never be able to explain it to you. All I know is it takes a bunch of reps to figure out how hard it is. It's all feel. It's all feel. Everything's a feel in that particular game. AJ, did you see the Mark Schlereth video? And did you well, you saw it late, I guess.
Yeah, true.
Saw it very late because it had already been around the internet once you came back into 2021 or whatever off the greens of Augusta. But I loved it from old Mark Schlereth.
It was awesome. Were Jets fans really upset with him?
I saw a couple people respond because I was added in it. You know what I mean? So I saw every reaction. There was, I mean, just fucking hysterical image. The helmet on the entire time. Like no takeoff, no change. We're starting, didn't put it on in the middle of the video, starting video with it, ending video with it. Absolutely amazing.
Caption too. The caption's hysterical. It's come to my attention
that I accidentally hurt the feelings of some Jets. It was great internet. It was fucking incredible internet.
Think about how he went for like 2.5 minutes just right off the cuff, and he was entertaining and funny the whole time. And what's so funny is that he's such a big dude. He's awesome. We know he was a great player. He talks about what his granddaughter or his grandson, like the guy's a grandpa. I would love to see if his grandson's old enough. Like, hey, what's grandpa doing?
Yeah, well, listen. He also gave me. You mean watching him like he was in the airport yelling at us the other day when people were thinking on the other side, is grandpa okay? He's got his helmet on.
Talking to his phone.
What do you mean he's got his helmet on? He actually, he has his ring. Is everything okay, Mike? That's a hilarious image of the family. And him like, excuse me.
Get out of here.
About to break the internet, please. Please. It was awesome, man. It was also a little bit of a history lesson. I did not know the Broncos beat the Jets in a 23-zip third quarter fashion comeback after being down 10-0 in the championship. I had no idea. It feels like I learned a lot about football there.
Yeah. Dog walked the Lions.
Dog walked like 45-10 or something.
Yeah,
smacked them.
Shocked to hear that.
How about the fucking Lions fans watching that? What the?
Jesus,
dude. Of course. Every time. Why do we got to be a part of it every time? As a punchline. Sick of it.
I'm just happy we were in it, to be honest with you.
Oh, you like to make an appearance. Any pub's good pub.
Yes.
Wow. Let's go to Matt in Montana. What's going on?
Hey, Pat and the boys. How we doing on this Feel Good Monday?
Hey, listen, I know it's a different state, but I think you should maybe go set up camp over there in Fargo, North Dakota. I think it's pretty close. A lot of action's about to pop off over there with Trey Lance's second pro day.
I've actually been stuck in this damn state for 10 years, but most of my life's been in Montana, so I'm still from Montana.
This guy's, you on house arrest? You on house arrest, Matt? Not allowed to leave?
Started working out here about 10 years ago and then met my wife and haven't left. Got a little 6-year-old, and then you know how it goes.
Hey, congratulations. All right, that's a nice little Montana love story there. I've heard the state is beautiful, though.
It is, yeah. Yep.
Well, you kind of said you got stuck.
Guy hates it.
Yeah, you hate Montana.
geez.
Why do you hate Montana, dude? What's going on?
Oh, I thought you were talking about North Dakota.
Oh,
sure.
Okay.
Of course.
North Dakota is its own beautiful thing. I got plenty of family and friends from here, so I get that story, but shit, it sucks compared to Montana.
Okay, what do you want? All right, I'm not sure where we went there, Matt. What do you want to talk about, though?
Hey, I know you played with Colt, so I want to know your guys, and I'm glad Mr. Hawk's on because I want to know the best Montana you played with and against.
Okay, great question. Thank you. Montana, Jeff Fisher, by the way, we just talked.
Yeah.
I think he's a Montanimal out there. Colt Anderson. Oh, there was a returner. Man, for the Tennessee Titans. I love this dude. I forget his name. Oh, my God. I'm going to be a Pro Bowl returner from Montana.
Mark Mariani.
Mariani! I am so sorry, Mark. That is on me. That is 100% on me. He was an absolute stud from Montana. There's more guys. I think Brock Osweiler's from Montana.
Really? Rocket ship.
Rocket ship's from Montana. There's a lot of Montana out there in the NFL, actually.
Was Ryan Leaf Montana?
I do believe, because he said he was in the jail in the woods of the hill that he used to
throw a football over.
He wouldn't throw a football.
He wouldn't do it.
Yeah. And he was looking at the mountains that I guess him and his dad grew up hunting on or something like that.
Ooh.
Something of the, I don't know. I'm going to confuse that with the guy that was murdering people down in North Carolina.
Oh.
Fucking
Run
Rudolph, run.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I think you're right, though.
Ron Leaf?
I think you're right.
Okay, so I was wrong about the other one then. That guy was not looking
I don't think Rudolph was.
There's no nostalgia effect with what Rudolph was doing?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, I knew they were both in the woods.
Yeah.
I knew they were both in the woods. Okay, I'm sorry.
You're going back to the Atlanta Park bombings?
Hey, Rudolph was.
Centennial Park.
Hey, that guy, he could have been gone forever if he wanted to. The amount of woods that he was hiding in. I mean, that guy, what a maniac. He's a bad guy.
Terrible.
He's a bad guy. How about, the amount of, what's that called? Like anxiety, I guess, I felt while he was walking, while that college kid saw him.
Yeah.
And he was walking and they had, oh my God, I was like, don't get too close. He's going to kill you.
Yeah, snap your neck.
He's going to fucking kill you. He will. There's been so many serial killers that have been introduced in my life lately. I'm starting to become a little bit worried about this thing.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Connor, I think you tweeted something about that Boston art documentary. I haven't seen all of it, but man, that's good.
Yes, this is a robbery. It's a 4-part documentary on Netflix. Unbelievable.
How long each episode?
45, 50.
Oh, easy.
Okay.
Yeah, easy
Let's go.
documentary. And like you would think because it's unsolved, you wouldn't get many answers. By the end of it, you kind of have a good idea of what the hell is going on.
Reenactment, confessionals, videos.
Few reenactment, mostly confessionals, videos. Because a lot of
Ken Burns effect. A lot of Ken Burns.
Oh yeah, and they also go back because of like all the people who were working at the church and all the detectives and stuff. They have those people in the doc, and they're literally at the end. They show like the old school photo of when it was actually happening. Then they show them. It's unbelievable.
So it's kind of like when Mark Wahlberg kind of drew out the city on the ground in the warehouse.
In Patriots.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but you know.
What?
Not really, but but kind of.
Oh, okay. I thought they were drawing it all out, designing the whole thing.
The place itself is sick. I had no idea any of this even happened or that the museum even existed, and now I do.
So it's like Ocean's.
Exactly like
Really?
Ocean's. Yeah, that is.
Which one is it? 13, 14, 12, 11?
11, 12, or 13.
It has like there's parts.
No, the painting one was 13.
Oh, with the silver fox.
Yeah, it's 12.
The Night Fox has
12.
respect.
12.
Sorry.
12.
Okay, yeah.
It is unbelievable, and there's a little bit of the town in it, if you will, with
Batty, hey, can't have that tattoo, dude. If you're gonna do that,
You can't.
Gotta wear a turtleneck, pal.
Yep.
Definitely recommend it.
What an idiot. How you plan all that out and not have a turtleneck in it?
Well, I don't think they took into account that Jeremy Renner was going to beat the bank manager's face in.
Oh, you're talking about Hawkeye?
Hawkeye. Butt of his gun.
Let's go to Patrick in California. Last call. Show's almost over. I'm up to something. I gotta go do something.
Hell yeah.
Patrick!
Pat, I just want to say happy victory motherfucking Monday.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Woo!
Because we just beat the fuck out of COVID. We mudhole stomped that bitch to a pulp.
Yeah!
We did. You're 100% right, Patrick, aren't you? We beat COVID. We announced that earlier yet again.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Kraft's statements coming out basically laying out why behind the statement of Roger Goodell saying they're expecting, with the way the vaccination numbers are going, they're going to be 2 weeks past their second shot. I don't know why we shouldn't be at full capacity. It said it would be intellectually disrespectful to act as if we're only going to be able to have a percentage of the stadiums with the way vaccinations are going. That's via Peter King of Football Morning in America, not to be confused with Monday Morning Quarterback, which is run by Albert Breer, formerly of Football Morning in America's Peter King. But AJ, it checks out. It feels like we beat COVID.
So you've made that announcement once again.
Well, the first time I think maybe premature. We didn't understand the whys. Whenever I talked to Coach Drew of Baylor, he said coaching back in the day used to be able to just say something and do it, okay? Nowadays they say something and they're like, well, why? You explain the why, then they'll do it. We potentially were a little bit old school earlier. Whenever we just heard stadiums were going to be open, we were just like, yeah, okay. Now we're learning the whys behind it. It's like, we fucking did do it. So I want to let you know, there's two different, things that happen there.
I thought when Raj came out, our commissioner, a couple weeks ago, and says we're expecting full stadiums, I thought that's all the news we needed.
Well, it depends which school of thought you come from. Because new school wants to know why, which is, by the way, good. I want to hear why. Old school is like,
you got it.
Hey, if Raj is saying it,
we did.
Somebody said it. So we chose to celebrate both, which I think more people should do.
Yeah, especially now.
Dude.
I mean, wasn't WrestleMania sold out? Was that full? Was the place full?
25,000, 40,000 Texas Rangers, I guess, and that did continue well past, night one down there. Are we getting any updates on whether or not humans that are watching baseball live are still alive, not because of boredom death, but because of potential COVID outbreak? We got to ask these questions, and then once we get those answers, if they're positive, we're back.
If it wasn't doing well, too, you'd think that the Jacksonville UFC fight might have a little backlash, but because it doesn't.
17,000 coming in there, I guess.
Hell yeah.
10,000 max sellout.
This train is not stopping.
Let's go.
And that's an indoor arena, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And what's interesting is the Jacksonville one's allowed to have 17,000 indoor, 15,000 indoor, and in the same state, in another city, Tampa Bay, they're only allowed 25,000 in an open stadium. Who cares? There's still people in the stadium. The train of beating COVID is rolling. The Masters had 3,200 people. How you doing? Keep it moving. AJ was one of them. He talked to nobody else there, but the COVID ass-beating train is rolling along. How you doing, AJ? We're back, baby.
Yeah, we're back. No, I want to know, are there any concerts booked? If you can have a UFC event in there,
bro, I saw
or maybe
Miley.
outdoor amphitheater, can we do that?
I saw Miley, dude.
Cyrus.
Wait,
Backstreet Boys are coming to Indy this summer.
Yeah, and people are dancing in little squares out in front of them.
That's
How about
right.
that?
And if you're not dancing, get out of the square.
That was weird, man.
Oh, you telling me? I was live. I was watching that thing live. What is going on?
Who is that?
So you saw I saw there'd be a mom and her daughter where they had to wear a mask and kind of dance and then I saw one dude just post it up. I'm like, how did he get the gig? He's not moving.
Yeah, it was frontline workers, so they're heroes, obviously.
Thank you, frontline workers.
Obviously, they're heroes. They
Yes,
are.
if I was a frontline worker and they asked me, like, hey, what? That's not exactly my thing here. I'll sub in somebody that'll bring the juice you need.
They actually were doing that, though, I think. I think it was a sub in, sub out type thing. I think. Because I seen one stale square kind of get replaced.
Yeah,
really.
Hey, get these guys the fuck out of here.
Now, the frontline workers, yeah, but we need a little bit more juice.
Bring the gals in.
There's a lot of this and different things.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of square dancing like this. But they couldn't dance too close. Yeah. So, all right, I'm out of here. The show's pretty terrible today.
I know you're up to something, huh?
Good show.
Hey. I'm up to something, dude. Hey, it's big. Think big.
Shoot.
And then think bigger.
We'll allow you to guess too.
Oh man.
Not now. No. Remember, we have a process here.
Does Mitt know about it?
Mitt does not know about it.
No, he doesn't know anything.
Don't try to get through Mitt, dude.
Mitt does not know about it.
He doesn't know a thing.
I bet he does. I bet he's acting like he doesn't.
No, there's actually this has been something that has been pretty tight. Pretty tight. It's got to remain for another 2 weeks. It's got to be at least pretty tight.
Yep.
But we're getting to the point where it's like we should at least allow people to get a little bit of a taste of what it could potentially. Sniff around a little. Yeah. Sniff around. You know what I mean, AJ? You know what I mean? So take the clues in, AJ. Yeah. Take the ideas in, and then, put together a good guess whenever there's
I don't know how Bad Bunny gets a match and Logan Paul is in WrestleMania and you weren't there.
Well, AJ, a lot of people ask that question.
Yep.
Good question.
A lot of people ask that question. They're probably worried I put that whole goddamn show in. Joke hold, but it's all right. To each their own. You know what I mean? To each their own, pal. I'm up.
Who was the main event?
Well, it was Roman, Daniel Bryan, and Edge, and then it was Bianca and Sasha Banks on Saturday night.
Nice. Congrats
to Bianca Belair. And to Sasha Banks. Masterful main event match. Good for them. But yeah, you're right. I thought there was a potential chance where I could be seen during the weekend. That does have kind of gone. And how you doing? Keep it moving, guy. How you doing? Keep it moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hulk Hogan, the little bit I saw online, seemed like everyone loved what he did.
Oh, yeah.
Crushed. From deep in the hills of Humboldt County, the coast. What's that?
What?
Was that
looked
good?
cool. He was dressed as a pirate. It looked cool. I didn't get to see it. I'm going to go back and watch.
Brothers. He still got the fastball.
Oh yeah. Never a dot.
Titus was actually cutting great promos,
by
the way.
Yeah.
Titus was carrying that thing there for a while, and then Hulk would come in with
Yar, brother!
All you Hulkamaniacs came out to see me, brother! There was a couple Hulkamania signs, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, still pop, by the way, when that music hits.
He probably paid him.
Whoa!
Get up, dude.
Scumbag like Adam Cole would do that. Hulk Hogan would not, please.
No way.
From deep in the hills of Humboldt County, the Coastal Cowboy Dip Boys.
Let's go.
Is that in the read?
Yeah, it is. That one kind of got me a little bit, actually.
Go on.
Oh, okay. Would you like to hear more?
I'm intrigued.
Please.
Let me go back to the beginning here to really let the full thing sink in. From deep in the hills of Humboldt County, the Coastal Cowboy Dip Boys at Canadips have an exciting announcement for the best fans in all of sports. The McAfee Mafia.
Okay.
Shout out to the mob. What up, mob? How you doing, mob? Keep it moving, mob. Nothing is better than a crisp lid, and Canadips is offering one of their camo embroidered hats, a $25 value.
What?
For free when any watcher or listener buys 5 or more cans on the website. Head to CanadipCBD.com and grab this free hat with a purchase of any 5 or more cans, and you can still use promo code LIPBOOMERS for 20% off.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Canadip CBD is the original nicotine and tobacco-free dip alternative with CBD from the land of marijuana, Humboldt County, California. And they want you styling for your 420 festivities. Shout out 420. It's coming up soon.
Shout out.
I am up to something on 420.
Really?
Really big.
Oh.
Head to CanadipCBD.com, add any 5 cans into your cart, slam promo code LIPBOOMERS for 20% off, and get a free hat. Don't worry about not seeing the hat in your shopping cart. The Canadips boys have got you covered.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Canadips.
Thank you, Canadips.
That's CanadipCBD.com. Add any 5 cans into your cart, buy it, use promo code LIPBOOMERS, you get 20% off and a free hat. Wow. What a minute.
Wow.
Shots, Canadips. Shots to you, AJ. I'm going to say it. Sound like you lived my nightmare yesterday. Happy to see you on the other side of that thing.
Yes, and I appreciate Jordy and everyone that got me the ticket and thinking of me when whoever fell through that originally had the ticket.
Well, they didn't really think about you much, though. Once you went missing for what? How many hours into the missing do you think they potentially said, is AJ?
Nah. Fuck them.
Is that what they said?
No, I doubt it, but I get it. I understand. I was like, this was a real possibility, I thought. And then when I was in the moment, I said, okay, that possibility has come true. Yes, I am separated. I have no way to find them other than to wander around this place.
but you did have your sunscreen.
Hell yeah.
And that is what matters. You could have came out looking like a lobster. It seems like you got it a little bit. I would have been in much worse shape. I can't thank you enough for watching. It is 3:33 Eastern Standard Time. In 27 minutes, the Hammer Down boys will continue their heat train. Hammer Down live. I believe we have a phone line coming in for that show within the next few days. Okay, so that thing's going to get popping off. The whole office is involved. 4 o'clock, Hammer Down YouTube. AJ, anything to say to the YouTube people while we sign off here?
No, I can't wait. Big show tomorrow, though. I know we have some stud guests lined up.
Hey, big show tomorrow, and also maybe some more clues.
You haven't given any clues yet. You can't say more clues.
Pay attention.
You don't know. This is like Masked Singer, dude.
Yeah.
There might be something in the background that you don't even notice that might have, popped
Is Masked Singer still happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Come
Of
on.
course. They got the dancer now, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Masked Dancer. This is a pretty good one. They judge by the knees. Some young knees. Because the move.
The waggle would win that thing.
Yes.
I think the Masked Dancer would suit me well. I do believe. But once again, that is a massive commitment.
You're up to something. Maybe you are.
Pay attention.
Calm down, AJ.
All right, we'll be back
Where do
tomorrow.
they film these things?
Calm down,
Where do they
AJ.
record?
Hammer Don is on at 4 o'clock. This has been the Pat McAfee Show. You are the best.